What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Broken Ranks podcast. I'm here with our host, Connor, the man who gets us bricked up day and night, and Richard Collis, the often imitated but never duplicated player of my heart. Boys, how you doing today?
I'm good. Good.
Yeah,
Just good. Feeling pretty good today. We had fun news drops the past few days, so it's been a good time.
Oh yeah, and I definitely plan to get us to those. But first, what's got you guys excited today? What you guys working on?
Well, I actually do have something exciting.
Oh,
I told you about this, Carlos.
Yeah.
I told you.
Well, I haven't learned about this. This is a rare occasion.
You told me, but you haven't told all of our all two of our subscribers.
Listen, that's fair. So, over the weekend, I stopped by my local gaming store to pass off a model to one of our Broken Ranks members. He's going to be using Nagash in a couple of his new Night Hunt lists, and he wanted a Nagash model. I happen to have one lying around that was already painted, so I lent it to him. However, while I was there, I picked up a kit that actually may, potentially, allegedly, get me excited enough to paint. Because I saw the kit and I was like, this looks really cool, and I think this is something I might actually enjoy painting and might break my my long dry spell of painting.
And which kit would that be, my good man? Neve and the Black Talons. Let's go.
Very cool.
I'm obviously getting a lot of glare from the camera, but or from the screen. But
if you want to get mega hyped for that, if you have Warhammer Plus, no Warhammer Plus, there's a show about them.
Oh yeah, okay, sure, I do.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I highly recommend it.
There's a box behind me that's got my Squire Ugo and Marshall whatever somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta see these boys.
It's in here. It's in this box. It's unopened.
Still in the box.
It's because I was like sad that I was sad because I had missed the last, I think, two, because I just completely forgot that I had it.
Okay.
So I went to go order it, and I was like, man, these aren't the exciting models that I was thinking of, because I was looking at the other stuff, but
these aren't the models I wanted.
It's okay.
I did not intend for this.
Such
devastation! This was not my intention! That's a Final Fantasy 14 joke for those of you that are in the know.
So I'm sure Patrick is listening, going, "I get that reference."
I know that one.
What about you, Connor? Brother Connor, what's got you excited these days?
So, work's been a little swamped, so been busy with that. So I haven't gotten too much hobbying in, but I did get to game last Saturday. Trying my league list out, getting ready for Rich and I's game on Friday.
Where's that gonna be at, by the way?
We're gonna figure that out.
To be determined.
Please let me know.
To be determined. It will probably be at a Grognard's of some kind if we can help it.
Okay.
That's fair.
Please keep me informed.
Yeah, I don't. Connor, we'll talk about it after the show. It's not important to our viewers, but I have a couple of models to put together for it. I also have some models to fix for it, because I think Oreo has been knocking over some of my models, and I didn't realize it until I looked the other day, and I'm like, why is my Star Shard Ballista look so wrong? And I'm like, oh, it's because it's missing a piece, and it was on the floor in front of it, and I was like, it's possible that it wasn't Oreo, and it was something that we did, because I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of weeks back, we had some pretty crazy storms right around 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday, Saturday into Sunday, I think it was. And the water was coming in sideways, like the wind was so fast. But it pointed out a key failure in our windows in that they were not properly sealed. So when the water was coming in sideways, we had basically what turned into a water fountain in our bedroom window. The rain was like inside, like dripping down pretty heavily. So it may have been knocked over during like our like rushed response to that at 2:30 in the morning in the middle of the night. Or it might have been Oreo. One of those two things. But I have a couple models to fix, and I've got 10 river blades to put together. But I've got them here.
If you're not able to, I do have 10 river blades built already, so I will probably have them on hand. So.
Well, listen, don't tell me that, because then I'll lose all.
No, I'm still gonna hold you to build your own, but I will be prepared in the event.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair and valid take.
The game I got to play last Saturday was pretty fun. Try to listen, realizing that I definitely need to be more comfortable just not turtling up all the time. The game doesn't allow that anymore. And that was one of my fatal flaws in the WCW was I think I leaned too much into that and I got punished very easily. So that was on me in that one.
Sure, we'll go over that in a few.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it was a good game. It was a good time. Nice. I feel bad for Scarbrand. Scarbrand is he's a struggling boy.
Sure. When he pops off, he pops.
Oh yeah. No, he absolutely does. No fault to that.
But... Scarbrand's one of those models that when you go up against it, and it pops off, you're like, oh man, this is the most busted model in all of Sigmar. And then you look at the War Scroll and you're like, yeah, sure. Okay, it's not that busted.
Yeah, if you have a way of controlling it in any degree, you kind of can manage, and that's what ended up happening.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I mean, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and I will say, so before we move forward, not having intercept and recover is a bit like freeing, because I could just look at a double turn and be like, I could kill a lot of things now, and I'm not losing 5 points for the rest of the game for it. That's
totally fair.
Honestly, that is one thing that we'll talk about when we get to the WCW battle plans. Like when we talk about how we felt about those battle plans. Its life cycles, I think, is the one that we need to talk about.
Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there, but it relates to the discussion about intercept and recover and things like that.
Sure. Well, sure. Well, then, as far as me, I was a buzz busy bee this weekend.
He was. He really was. I've seen proof.
When he's awake while I'm awake working, that's how I know that man's busy.
I built. It's hard to see in this right here. I built, based and primed 30 thralls, a thrall master, a soul render, and a soul scryer. I also primed a Lord of a Harbinger of Doom. Harbinger of Doom.
Harbinger of Decay.
Harbinger of Decay. Yeah. Started my next Alopex.
Your soon to be nerfed Alopexes.
You started to be nerfed Alopexes. Did some dirty work to finally build my ship. My ship
is. Are you going more ghosty for the ship rather than actual sunken? Okay.
Yeah, going for a ghosty ship. And then honestly, aside from some other basing for some other IDNF models, the model I'm super excited about to paint is this Demon Prince of Nurgle.
Oh boy.
I got it prepped and got a base coat ready to go. It's gonna be so much fun to paint, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I already did the work. There's pictures that he sent to me on like in message. The Demon Prince already looks fantastic, and he's done almost no work on it. Like it's such a beautiful model, and just like the way that he's starting with the airbrushing that he's doing for that model, it's gonna look gorgeous. I know it. I can see it. I can see the vision. I can see the whole thing. It's gonna be real pretty.
Yeah, it's funny. I was recently talking to, this is on the same topic, of like hobbying and stuff. I was just talking in our painting Discord channel, like everybody should get an airbrush, and everybody should just learn the basics of airbrushing. Like, it will absolutely change your hobbying forever. Like, the amount of the amount of speed, the amount of time you can save with base coating, lighting effects, zenithal highlighting, is just amazing, and that's all I even use it for. Like, trust me, I'm not El Miniaturista. Like, I cannot do any of the things that some of these crazy, like, hobbyists do. But what I can do is just such a time saver, and it makes the daunting task of like, "Oh, I gotta get 30 thralls ready." It's like, yeah, I could have that done in a weekend if I devoted my weekend to it
Yeah.
easily. Like, just have 30 thralls ready to go, or like now they're primed, they're base coated, they're ready for the next step, like, just because of an airbrush. So, like, get an airbrush, and I'll tell the viewers right now, when you're learning the airbrush, you're going to fuck up. That is part of the process. Buy some cheap models. You could still find some of those cheap, like, start collecting kits where it comes with like three models, three push to fit models inside of a box, and like use those to fuck up, make mistakes, do some research, find out why you fucked up, do it again. Failure, repetition, till finally it just makes sense. That's how you get good with an airbrush. You're not going to be good the first time, and I feel like I've heard that story too many times of people like getting an airbrush, trying it once, and going, you know what, that whole process sucked, and I was really bad at it, so I'm never going to do it again. Like, failure is part of the process.
I would even say like don't even bother going like finding a start collecting. Just 3D print some guys if you
That too.
can.
Yeah.
Most libraries like most of you can probably find a library that has a 3D printer these days, and just take a couple of STLs, have them print them out, and just throw paint on a model. I've got a couple that I use like in the very few attempts that I've tried to paint that I've just like had 3D printed models done, and I paint them up just to see like how things work. I haven't tried an airbrush, but like just in general, like so
Yeah.
like if you don't have a start collecting, you don't have models that you wanna throw into the meat grinder that is learning. Just 3D print something real quick and try it like that.
Yeah. I am not a clever man, but I am a lazy man. And one of my favorite things I ever heard in the corporate world is like, one of my bosses once said, "Whenever I have a tough project, I give it to my laziest person because they will find the most efficient way to get the project done." So, and that's the logic I take with like airbrushing. It's like, okay, how can I use this airbrush to make this process just easier, right? And that's what I focus on, is
Yeah.
making the process of painting easy. But yeah, awesome. Enough yapping about some hobbying. Let's get to an actual photo of Connor today when he woke up and saw.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
sorry, Sunday when he saw that it was up for pre-order. Just
yep, I was even up when that happened. So I was working overnight, finished up, and I'm like, all right, I gotta stay awake, see the order, take my melatonin, go to bed, so I could overnight the next night. And oh yeah, I was so happy. It pretty much lined up with how many articles we got last week
yeah.
of just everything going on. But I I'm excited. It's finally starting.
Yeah, it's a solid kit. Like, I was doing some GW math in my head. Like, you figure, the book by itself is $40. That bull is probably gonna be $75 on his own. The artillery piece is probably gonna be 60 on its own, right? So we're already at about 175. Most infantry units cost 60,
Yeah.
so we're at about, what, 120 now, and then you also get a hero, um, which is usually about
Yeah,
35 bucks.
yeah, we've bled well into like to well over 200. So 200 is a pretty good deal, especially knowing. that even some of those are probably even more going to be even more expensive. I see the ball being like closer to 80 because they've been
Yeah,
doing that with some of those kits. The
sure.
book is 60. We get the War Scroll cards, which is 35
Oh
now.
God, are books 60 now? I thought they were
Books are
40.
60 now. No,
No,
books are
books have
60
been
now.
60 for a while.
Oh, fuck. Oh man,
Dang.
I
Yeah,
just
so
pulled
this
it.
is like this is about like a $300-ish box for $200. Like I'll absolutely take that.
I'm gonna
Do
be
we know?
honest though, the this box does hurt my feelings a little because you have a prayer lore and a spell lore that you just don't get to interact with.
With the box, yeah.
Isn't the hero's not a wizard?
No.
Nope, that is the combat hero.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
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 All the
I mean, to be fair, we
So
might
I
get.
won't be screwed because I have things from the 90s that I'm going to be using things to.
Sure.
So
Sure.
But I feel like this box would have gone hard if it had either a wizard or a priest in it as well.
I think if they chose the Demon Smith Ashen Lord character, I think this would have popped off a bit more.
Yeah.
It will be interesting if they have a artifact or heroic trait
Yeah,
that makes them a wizard or a priest. And
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay.
That
I
was
can't wait to
Hey,
find
hey,
out.
right here, baby. Right here. You
around the same.
The time is ticking. We know if everything goes the way they've been going for releases the past year during the week of announcements, I think Thursday is going to be a very, very busy day for me.
That's fair.
Now, when you say that, do you think are you referring to Man Reed's book, or do you think they're going to start previewing some of the other stuff that they've been teasing?
So we know that we're going to see a couple other things soon. They've said that they're going to talk about a few more stuff this week.
For Hellsmiths?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I see. Okay.
I do think that they are also going to show off like a roadmap because they did say that when they were talking earlier last week or somewhere, like, hey, we do have one coming for you.
Oh, yes.
So I think we're gonna get that pretty soon. If not, they may just tie it to the battle scroll within the next. I think Victor was guessing 2 weeks.
Most of the sorry, all credible trust me bro sources are saying September 25th.
Yeah, so we
That
could
is
see like the roadmap coming about then is, hey, here's this that's dropping around the same time that the points for Hellsmiths will probably be dropping as well as a PDF.
sure.
So they may just do it all in one go. Like, here's your battle scroll, here's your Hellsmith update for not the app. I don't think they're going to put them in the app yet. But they'll put them on the battle profiles up, and then they're gonna show us the roadmap. That might just be a very big Wednesday.
I am so ready to see Ogre and Nurgle. Give it to me, baby.
But Thursdays, the week of announcement for pre-orders, typically is a very generous and maybe truthful wargamer gets to talking about some stuff.
Hey, chill, bro. Let's not name names.
No. But
I mean,
a wonderful man overseas starts talking about some cool stuff. So
man reads book, bro.
Man reads book.
Man reads book. Man reads book before men are allowed to read book. Hush, hush. So that'll be a busy time. I think our Discord's going to be very rambunctious around probably 1-2 p.m. on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of chatter from a lot of people, a lot more than I was expecting. This is going to be, I think, my third army launch if you count Lumineth.
Let's see. Lumineth was your first.
Yep.
Sons of Behemoth was the second.
Oh, I forgot Sons. Fourth. Cruel Boys.
What was the
Cruel Boys?
Cruel Boys were like half an army.
Sure, I'll give you half credit.
Cities was a redo. Like Cities already existed. It's just
I think this is your third. You had Sons, Lumineth, and this.
Yeah,
Sons, Lumineth, and this. I give you half credit for Cruel Boys.
They're basically their own army at this point. Let's not beat around the bush.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it took a while for them to actually beat.
But as long as they are in the Auric War Clan book, you will always and forever be only not even technically correct, just like kind of correct.
Rules as intended, not rules as written.
Yeah, rules intended, not rules as written. So
Yeah.
I give you half credit, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, yeah. Do we know if this is going to be a special cover that no one else gets?
Yes. Yeah, this is a special cover book.
I'm
it has
so glad I called dibs.
Has the Dominator engine on it instead of the normal cohort.
Yes.
Dibs. There is one other thing that I want to bring up. I saw chatter that said that this was going to be this box is pretty much going to be like one of their spearheads as well.
Yes, this is one of their spearheads.
Okay,
sure.
Which could be really good.
They did that with the Skaven versus sorry, they did that with the 4th edition box launch. So that doesn't surprise me.
How many points are in a spearhead?
It's a good question. I don't know because I don't know because I don't play.
Yeah, spearheads normally they don't have points in spearhead because you get assigned what it is. But if we were to look at it,
like 600-ish,
about 6-7, I'd say 750 is probably a comfortable average for you. You're not exactly 1,000 points, but you're usually over 500. So I'd say about 600 to 750 is a good chunk.
I'll give you 6 to 750 as that range. Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's actually a lot lower than I thought it was. I thought spearhead was like 1,200.
No, God, no.
I mean,
that's usually the battle. Those are the battle forces like for Christmas and stuff. I would say that's pretty close to where.
Yeah, and that's where about the half army boxes sit is anywhere from 900 to 1,200 points. Like when you get the double army box, whatever Skaven Tide was, Cruel Boys and
the launch army boxes that aren't the starter sets. Those are very much like about 1,000.
Yeah,
about 1,000 each. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, just looking at it, if you think about it, like that's what 1/3 of an army basically, right there.
Yeah, I've been preaching this for a little bit. So rumors have kind of been confirmed that the dwarf infantry is 1 wound pretty much across the board. So that screamed to me that this army is a lot cheaper than we originally thought it was going to be.
And that doesn't so that's interesting because like they all have shields, so they're probably gonna have a 3-up save. So 3-up save with 1 wound, like that's
Iron Breakers.
No, yes, they are Iron Breakers.
They're Iron Breakers, and they have access to a ward save.
You got me there.
We learned on Friday that they have access to a ward save at the start of any of your hero phases. You can give them a save for.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that also goes to the Demon Smiths as well. So including the one on Tauroid or Infernal Taurus?
Just the one on only the one on Taurus. The one on foot is the healing one, and his healing ability is increased by his demonic power. So it's D3 for a war machine, wholly within 6, but it's D3 plus X, and X equals your demonic power points.
Yeah.
And you add 6 inches for every demonic power point you have.
So
that guy can heal 24 inches at D3 plus 3.
Yeah, I thought the way that it was worded in the article made it sound like all Demon Smiths had the ward.
It could be. We might have missed some rules in things that could be that have started to kind of bleed out, but
yeah, I didn't want to get lost in the weeds on rules today, only because I know that after Man Reads Book, that'll probably be the next big episode we do.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
So we're gonna give another week to cook for Night Haunt and Flesh Eaters before we start diving into the books.
Yeah, for sure.
Understandable.
Well, sweet. Well, moving on. I wanted to just highlight and just say a few words on some of the new spearheads. Not something I would normally think to do, but if you are somebody who's newer to Age of Sigmar and kind of wanted to hear the opinion on some veterans about the value of a box, this Soulblight Gravelord box is pretty fucking good. I think this is one of the better boxes that's come out in a while as far as just the quality, and it doesn't feel like they're just trying to sell you on shitty models. You got a White
Yeah.
King, which is a great force multiplier. You got some of the new Barrel Guard, which is the new Grave Guard. Great models, great rules. You got your Chaff, which you would expect in a Death Army, and you got Barrow Knights, which if you are looking to start a Soulblight Gravelord army, you cannot go wrong with this spearhead. It is amazing.
Yeah. So most spearheads are about $150 for your investment, and this box is easily over $200. Everything in this kit is about $60 or so outside of the character themselves. So
It's
like,
gonna go up soon.
Yep. So like, this is great, and if you're oddly enough like me, who ran into the other spearhead box, where you had another set of skeletons, a vampire, blood knights, and fargeists. Though these two together, this is an amazing, like, just general start.
Yeah.
You have all the units you want, both like heroes that you probably want.
Yeah,
like, it's a good launching point, and for sub $300 before taxes in the US as of right now,
this
that's
box,
a great, like, almost 1,500 points to start with.
100%. I would say you could buy 2 of these boxes and then literally like pivot to supplement them with something else you want. Like maybe you want to add some blood knights, maybe you want to add Vordry or something else. But 2 of these as a base, a reinforced Barrow Knights and reinforced Barrow Guard. Wow.
Perfect. Yeah. And then you have 2 reinforced skeleton blobs. Like you have your core of, I'm gonna play the attrition game the entire time.
Yeah, and then you could add buff pieces. The only thing, and I don't say this as a criticism, I just say this because I'm looking at it from a top down. The only thing that could have possibly made this a perfect spearhead, the only thing preventing this from being a perfect spearhead, as far as the meta goes, mind you, that's all I'm saying from the meta point of view, is if it had been a White King on Steed. That's it. But that's not me criticizing. That's just me saying like why this isn't an A+. I give this an A-, easy A-. Like this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Sweet. Moving on to the next spearhead they showed off, is the new Git Mob box. This is pretty awesome if you are looking to start Git Mob. From talking to Sam, this is basically all the things you need to build your thematic Git Mob box. It says that one of them is a leader, and I don't know which one it is.
Oh, it's the guy bottom left.
There's a snarl boss with his homies, yeah.
Because they're units of 5 for the heavy cav. Okay. Oh, this is good.
No, heavy cav or 3. Heavy cav or 3. Let me look at this.
No, it can't.
These are they're Starfang? Yeah, they're 3.
Then
is the cav up top, the 3 regular-ish wolves with a single guys. The back end guy is the snarl boss, and then his 2 friends that you can only take when you have a snarl boss, and that's what gives him like a word save or something.
Oh, is that what that is?
Oh, it's like a
it used to be the Underworld's
companion. Got it. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
It used to be the Underworld's warband, but now it's just a snarl boss and then the snarl boss's retinue.
Gotcha. So it's not the guy on the bottom left.
Yeah. But this is absolutely a steal.
Well, no. He's saying it is, but the other 2 guys with him are his retinue that go in that unit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so it is the snarl boss that's by himself, and then there is a unit of 2 that pretty much follow him around and hand him a word save. That's their entire job.
There's no boss by himself in these. We're talking bottom left.
Yeah, no.
Guy,
no.
Top. You
top middle.
All the way in the middle.
Top middle. Gotcha. And the guy holding up the sword is the boss.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page.
No, I think you guys are. I think maybe I'm not understanding this, but I think you guys are wrong here. I think the guy in the bottom left with the X is a Snarlfang boss. If you go on GW's website right now, Snarlfang Riders is a unit of 5 models.
Yeah, but those aren't Snarlfang Riders.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What are these called?
These are. I know what.
Oh, Snarl Pack. Yeah. Snarl Pack Cavalry.
Yeah, so the Snarlfang Riders are all single goblins.
These are all 2 Raider goblins, and then the champion has a X. That's why you have 2 of them.
Yeah.
And the Snarl boss is one of the chariots, right?
No, the Snarl boss is one of the single wolves in the middle.
Okay. Well,
I think
just so I don't make my viewers any dumber. This is a good box.
Oh yeah.
I
when
think
the chariots are $100 by themselves, like that's reason enough.
Yeah, 100%.
You mean for 2 chariots, right? They're $50 a chariot.
Yeah, it comes in a box of
2. A box of 2 that's $100. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. I'm on the site right now taking a look at them. So yeah, this is a great value box, and I know a lot of people have been wanting to start a Gitmob army, and so this was such a good move on their part to do
Fantastic
that.
way to do it.
Yeah, fantastic
way.
Yes, it's $100 for 2. Snarl Pack is 60, so you're getting
220 off the
60
bat, not including
Yeah.
the middle guys, the middle
Yeah,
single riders, which are probably another 50, 40.
Man, that's
It's
crazy.
Like 40 or 50, yeah.
42. So, oh man, you are getting a shit ton of value in this.
$262 for 150. Is that?
Yeah. 145 boxes go for. Oh,
but so remember when we were talking about what Spearhead points costs are? This is incredibly cheap. This is like floating at the 600 point.
Okay, that may make sense. Yeah, it's a bit of a horde-centric army.
It's why Gitmob was hard to run generally, is because like 2 chariots is only 130 points. 3 snarl packs are 100 points. Like they're dirt cheap.
Having played against Sam with some of these units, yeah, they were dirt cheap, and they still punch. Not as hard into an army that has -1 to hit, but like that's just destruction's like bane of existence. So you know.
Yeah, sure.
your mightiest Gargant looks at a -1 to hit and goes, "Ugh, I fear no god, but that thing scares me." So you can imagine the kids are terrified of -1 to hit.
Yeah, Sun Champa's good. It's a good model. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, moving on over to the Windy City. We just wrapped up our first big 2-day GT. As people like to remind me, we did have a small 2-day GT like a year ago. Sure. This is our first big GT. It was very successful. We had no drops. Big shout out to anybody who brought terrain. Big shout out to Kamran, who came through clutch with all his neoprene stuff. Big shout out to Alex, who brought a ton of terrain, and everybody else. Patrick kept me sane the whole weekend, and I will say that if you are a player looking to build a community, running an event is a good way to really find some inspiration. But my advice is delegate. So I learned some hard lessons. Don't do everything by yourself.
That man was very tired by the end of it.
So yeah, but thank you to everybody who kept me sane. And we had 2 5-0s, Corey O'Keefe, and our Windy City champion was yours truly, Richard Collis, with his Ideneth list. He was the Windy City champion. Oh man, I was in such a daze from the weekend, and I realized that I should have been the one to put the medal around your neck, Rich. But that would have been That would have been beautiful. I wish I had thought about that. I was looking through the
Yeah.
pictures today, and I was like, I should have put the medal around his neck. That would have been a perfect moment. But
Mhm.
um, anyway, I couldn't be happier to have one of my best friends win it. Super excited. Before we get into the specifics with our champion, Connor, as somebody who was a participant in the Windy City Waaagh, what were your takeaways as far as would you like? Did you like the venue? Did you like the setup? I know the TO was watching, but please be honest and tell me a little bit about what you thought about the map pack and how you performed. Like one
Yeah,
maybe highlight a game.
yeah. So I definitely felt the rust in my weekend, and it really showed how long it's been since I've really sat grinded competitively. I went 1-4. I am not ashamed of that either. I think it was a fun event. I had 5 incredible games against people I know, people I don't know. Um, One of the great things about this is it's really close for surprisingly a lot of people who were coming. Like I
Hmm.
think at least half of the people who attended were about under an hour. And then there were some that were about an hour. And then we had the above average generals crew that came out. They drove
Yeah,
about 3 hours and loved them to death for that. That was really cool of them to do.
yeah,
Uh, Got to meet a lot of them in person finally, and that was great. I love talking to everybody there. I think that was the for a competitive event, that was the most relaxed, like sweaty grind fest I've ever witnessed. And it reminds me of peak Age of Sigmar, like during Adepticon, like when we were
sure.
really kicking in, like it everyone has lists that they like. We do have the meta lists. We have these wild card lists out there. And then we have people who are coming for the hobby aspect. They're coming just because this is the way they get games in. But in doing so, I saw a community rally around and just enjoy themselves. And it felt like everyone knew each other from day one and we were best friends who hadn't seen each other in God knows how long. It was
Yeah,
great. And
y- yeah,
map pack, I think, was really good. I don't I personally don't believe that there's a mission I would have taken out of there. I even like Noxus Nexus may be like the one that some people would look at initially and be like, "Hey,
sure, sure.
are you sure?" Because that is the closest one of some armies just absolutely torch you in that map against others. But that's a great way to start off. Is
Yeah,
here we're gonna knock out an hour and a half, 2 hour game because everyone is really close and gamers like to just start rolling dice quickly. So,
yeah. And the thing about Noxious Nexus that I always counter people with is, listen, if you're the kind of army that can't sit there and grind it out, you don't have to. There's 3 points, and sure, you can argue that fighting for that big primary there is the best way to win the game, but you could also pivot, try to fight for the other two, so that at the very end on round 5, you snatch the game, So,
yep.
there's something to be said about that too. Um, but yeah, I think, to what you're saying, I'm really proud of the fact that I think this event really highlighted how much trust the community has, not just in me, but in our gaming club, because this had the Broken Ranks name, right? And I think we've managed to garner a reputation for not being a piece of shit gaming club, and people trusted us enough to come on out and we sold out 3 times.
Yeah.
so
No,
so we
like
sold we, sold-
we had the full set.
yeah, we would sell out, have a drop, sell out, have a drop. So, like we had a waiting list. So like it was, yeah, super exciting.
No, I'm very proud of our community. I'm very proud of you and Pat. You guys ran an absolutely tight ship,
Seconded.
and rally to the community as well. Of like, hey, we respect the venue. These guys are giving us the time of day to use their space. Soon as game 5 was starting to wrap up, like we were on top of it. We're like, cool,
Oh
let's
yeah,
start getting this packed. Let's start getting this done. Like we were, I don't know how late you guys were there, but I can't imagine based on what we did, you were more than like 6:37.
No, not even.
Not even, and not even, and it wasn't because we were doing anything. We were just reveling in the fact that we just had a great weekend together. Like that's all it was. We were there for like an hour
That
after basically everybody had left, just chit chatting.
I
That's
think
all
I
it
think
was.
I left a little bit early, just because I was exhausted.
Sure.
No, I carpooled a couple guys, and I had to work that night, so I
Yeah.
definitely had to leave early on once
Yeah.
the awards were over. But like, yeah, we were done by, I think, at the most, which was awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was people seeing the stress on my face or because, like, they knew it was my first tournament and I was pretty vocal about that, but, like, I probably got approached by everybody in that room that knows me by name and was asked, like, "Hey, can I help you with anything?" You know, like,
Yeah,
it was amazing. It was so
we want to
like,
make sure
even
you were okay.
yeah, yeah, and I was like, "Thank you so much." So, um Richard,
That's
before we
me.
go into your list,
Sure.
give me an overview about what you thought about the event as a player. I know you've been to enough events where you've seen what a good event looks and feels like. So
Mhm.
talk to me.
So I mean, first off, the venue amazing.
Yeah,
Great venue. Uh, the catering was an inspired choice. Um, like asking people to go in on the catering was a godsend. I didn't have to think about going out to get food.
loved it.
Um,
Yeah.
the bar was great. I
Oh
wish
yeah.
I wish I had known earlier that they were taking card, but then maybe I would have lost one of my games because I was a little bit too drunk. But it is what it
Yep.
is.
Yeah. When it was presented to me, they said cash bar,
Yeah,
and then I found out the day of they accept card, and then
yeah,
I think more people started as people got that by word of mouth. More people started buying liquor.
yeah.
Yeah, so that became a lot easier because it's like, ooh, I could have something.
Yeah, so the venue is fantastic. There's some small wiggle room for more tables down there as well. But
Yeah.
there's plenty of space. I think that all of the maps are great. I think the only thing I wanted to bring up was I wanted to talk about life cycles.
Sure.
Um,
Talk to me. That was round
four,
4. No,
four.
no passing. Yeah, round 4. Yeah, because round 5 was
No,
passing season.
No, it
no,
was
three.
three.
Round three.
It
Round
was
three.
three. It was
Round three.
three.
Round three.
Okay,
Four
Yeah,
was
four was
Ley
Link Ley Lines.
you're
Yeah.
right. All right. So talk to me about
So my
about it.
issue, and we were talking about earlier today, we were talking about how Connor was saying how intercept and recover, not taking intercept and recover, is so freeing because of the double turn. I think that life cycles may have a slight similar issue in that there's not as much of a penalty to life cycles when it comes to being the underdog. Um,
Yeah.
just because the only thing that the underdog gives you is in round two, you get to decide which way the life cycle is spinning. Having thought about it more and having like thought about how that ended up, for me it wasn't that big a deal because my army is super mobile. Um, but uh, for some armies, like if you're not like if you're a decently speedy army, there's literally no reason to ever not take a double there unless you're not going to score your tactics in the time remaining.
I see what you're trying to say. Yeah,
Uh,
sure. I mean,
just be,
that's a pretty fair criticism of
it,
it.
just
Odds
because,
are
yeah,
it probably won't be in the next map pack. Um, I'm not going to use the other 6 just because Path to the Fae is just not a fun experience right now.
it's doo doo.
So yeah, so odds are it'll just be the other 5 and then maybe the return of one of my favorite battle plan, which is Link Leylines. I don't know. I can't explain to you why I'm just gaga over
Why?
Link Leylines.
Why does it
But
have to be linked ley
I liked
lines?
Link. I've come to really like Surge of Slaughter too. It's
well, it'll be in
really
the next
fun
map
map.
pack, so
Yeah, like that. That's a fun. It's a fun
there's
map. It
no
really is.
surprise. Yeah, I think it's the most fair thing to do is just go, hey, we did the first 6, so now we got to do the other 6. but not past the faith.
We don't do that here, which is good. So that was my only one that I don't like linked ley lines personally because I seem to struggle at it. But that's not it's not about the map or like it's not that the map is inherently unbalanced. It's just I personally and my list struggles with it. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you should take out linked ley lines because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just struggle with it.
No, that's fair.
Which makes my round 4 win all the more ridiculous because like there's like on a map that I normally struggle on against Cities of Sigmar, but we'll get into that. I think.
Yeah, you could overcome that. That's a really good accomplishment. It shows you're just as a player like, hey, I knew this was going to be an uphill battle, and you got an uphill matchup at least from the look, and you were able to pull the win out. Like that's really good on you.
So the matchup into Cities is not as uphill as it is for a lot. Like I have a lot of good answers to that matchup, but that's only if I don't roll a 1 on my Tidecaster roll, which is the first thing I did in linked ley lines against Kevin's Cities. Was all right. I'm gonna roll that Tide, and we rolled a 1. There's a small anecdote that when we talk about that game that I'll tell you guys about, but. Let's...
All right. Well, then,
we're about to dive in.
Yeah,
Carlos, really quick. Go ahead.
Really quick, Connor.
Yeah.
Shout out to who was your favorite opponent of the weekend? Who just gave you a game? Who gave you your favorite game that you were like, win or lose, this was just a fun fucking game against a great human being.
Man, so. I could say that for all of them for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like my first round was Ryan Copina, and he and I have been playing together. So like we laughed and joked about it. You guys were hearing it because we walked up. We're like, "Yep, we do this shit every week. Like it's the same thing." So we had a good time, but I did what I normally do when we play. If I had to give it to someone, if I had to play favorites, I think it'd be Sean in round 4. I think playing against Fire Slayers was super fun. He and I were just like, he was very thematic. He's like, oh, your intercept recover? Come kill my Magma Dross. And I'm like, hell yeah. Altharian's got a job to do.
Sure.
And it was a lot of fun. We shared a beer. I had a cider and beer. We had alcohol. We had a good time. We touched dice as we both won dice over the weekend. So that was fun.
Oh yeah,
nice.
It was all right. Absolute shout out to him.
Sweet. All right. Well, we're gonna start off by going over the list and kind of.
I thought you were gonna talk about what WCW is going to become. Before we did that.
Oh, sure. So we are moving to
backing up.
We are moving to the last weekend of February.
It's true.
Same venue. I haven't officially announced it because I didn't want to overwhelm anybody, but there's nothing stopping you from buying a ticket to it right now if you wanted to. So
soft launch live.
Yeah, it is technically a soft launch. I'll make a big announcement, probably a little closer to the holidays. Say, hey guys, like, go buy tickets. But I don't think having it open right now cause it to sell out. We're moving up to. I'm moving it up to 56 people for this next one, because I think 56 is going to be our.
We sold it 50. I think 56 is.
Yeah, and 56 is probably what I can comfortably fit for a 1v1 for a 1v1 situation. So gonna see how that works out. And then I think if 56 sells out, then 2027 already Kairos looking at 2027. 60 is probably the player capacity based on space.
Yeah,
just based on anything past 60 is just uncomfortable, butts to nuts. And I value the comfort of being able to stretch around the game table and shit, so but that is that. And then if there's any teams in the Midwest that are interested in a team event at the same venue, No Coast Best Coast is actually live right now, but you have to email me for that one, which is outlined on the public page. So that one requires email only. But yeah, last weekend of February, next Windy City Waaagh. It is Windy City Waaagh 2, Attack of the Chorfs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Richard-
gonna
Rich-
be attacking.
Rich convinced me to go chronological.
Well, I didn't convince you to chronological. Trevor did. Because Trevor was like, it should be Attack of the Chorfs, because there's going to be a lot of Chorfs there. And I'm like,
You also said that because I wanted it to be the Waaagh Strikes Back.
yeah. But, like, Trevor was the one who came up with the title. Like,
he came up with the title, but
Yeah.
you came up with the suggestion to, like, hey, keep it chronological.
I did in fact decide that unilaterally decide as the winner of Windy City Waaagh that it had to be the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I'm apparently Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who knew? I guess
Yeah.
the only one who won in Phantom Menace, to be real. Well, I guess Anakin won a little bit in Phantom Menace too, but
Slightly.
that's not important. We're just going to move on past that.
The
All right.
main reason I wanted to just bring it up is because you wanted to turn this into a kind of Adepticon prep for the Midwest a little bit, like one of them.
Yeah. There's we took it away from November because there's just too many starting in like the middle of August. There's just too many events from middle of August to the end of November. There's NashCon, there is Gateway, there is
Dragonfall.
Windy City, then Dragonfall, Windy City Waaagh, Michigan GT,
Nova.
Nova, Brawl in the Hall, Battle for the Bed,
LVO,
LVO, Michigan GT.
the
So,
World
like-
Champs, like all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna remove myself from that rat race and put myself at the end of February, where I now only have one other to compete with as far as proximity to each other, and that's Old Man Gaming's GT. And I'm just, and I'm definitely gonna go support Jake's event. He's a great guy, so I believe it. I'll look up the name, but I definitely want to shout him out because he's a great guy. And he gave me a lot of tips for being a competent GM, GM TO. So definitely shout out to him. But yeah, that's the reason we moved it to the end of February so that we didn't compete, and just because as you said, it is a great pre-Adepticon time slot so that people can test new hotness right before the sweaty 200 plus event GT that everybody goes for the throat on that one, because that's not where you go to make friends.
You happen to, but it tends to sometimes be the secondary.
Yeah. So yeah. It is but yeah, it is technically live right now. You can go buy yourself a ticket whenever you want, my friends.
All right, I think it's time for Rich to blab now.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't ready for this.
And yeah, it is called really quick. It is called the Old Man Gaming Open 2026. It is in Monroe, Michigan. It is run by Jake Myers. Great freaking guy. And he's going to be the weekend before our event. So yeah. Anyway, Richard,
That's me. There I am. That's me.
give us the lowdown. Tell us about your list, why you made some of your decisions, the matchups that stood out to you, as far as like they were fun or holy shit, I can't believe I won that game, and just where you think your list currently sits in the meta. Go for it, my friend.
Okay, so I brought Idnet Thiepkin to Windy City Waaagh. This is an army that I just recently started playing as of right around when the book released. So July?
What a low key flex.
Was it July that the book came out?
Yeah.
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 Just started playing the army 5-0.
I put in a lot of effort, all right? Like I put in a lot of games. I didn't play like 5 games a week or anything, but I did what I identified early on is that I was like, listen, there are some crazy lists that you can make in this book, but what no one wants to do is push around 60 thralls. or combination of thralls and reavers. And I'm like, but I will. I'll do it so that no one else has to. And I was like, okay, thralls. I think they're good. I think they're much better than they used to be. I think they're aggressive. I think they're reasonably pointed at 100. They might be actually a little bit overcosted still technically, but only in relation to the current meta, which is what I did with them, which is, or at least what I think the current meta is. Obviously, no one else is. I've not seen any other tournament like lists that had thralls in them in any meaningful capacity, so I can't really say for sure. What everyone seems to be bringing is either some form of eels and sharks or just sharks for Aethersay predators. Which reminds me of the when we went out to dinner on Saturday night, and I told Grego from Above Average Generals that he was that I was playing Idneth, and he's like, and I was like, and I'm 3-0, and he's like, oh, really? Probably playing them sharks, right? And I'm like, no, I'm playing thralls, and he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm playing thralls, and he's like, oh, never mind, I don't get how you're 3-0. I'm like, yeah, neither do I. I'm gonna be real. It's kind of a wild time. But the reason that this list works is the Soul Render. The Soul Render is the beating heart and the soul of this list. With Acheron Council and the Lord of Storm and Sea, the Soul Render is able to bring back 3 to 5 Thralls or Reavers in up to 3 units every single turn.
Sure.
And what that means is that if you don't kill my Thralls in the first combat, you're probably not killing my Thralls. It's just the end. It's just the end of the statement. If you don't kill them the first time, you're not killing them again. Because most of the time when you're talking about first combats, you're talking about someone who blows, Chosen who blow their fight twice, cavalry that's impact hits, cavalry that has charge damage, like you're softening them up with shooting, and then like if you don't kill them that first turn, like if you leave a model, and this happened in my game 3 against Zach and his Slanesh, he got my units down to 1 model left on the board 3 different times.
Mm.
And it's like okay, here's let me roll. Oh hey, there's 5 more Thralls. And it's just like there's nothing you can do about that unless now there's some counterplay from the new Nighthaunt book with Harridans, because Harridans prevent you from healing or bringing back models when you're in combat. Nurgle hurts it pretty badly with diseases,
which you dodged all weekend, which is crazy.
I mean, it is what it is. I got lucky. It's basic. There are some like I wouldn't even say that Nurgle's a hard counter, because at the end of the day, Nurgle can only give it to 1 unit at a time in most cases, unless there's a tree nearby or if someone's bringing the Guo. And basically what that means is I clear it out before they do diseases, or like I clear it out fairly quickly on the turns that I'm not the active player, and then on the turn that I am the active player, it ends up I end up clearing it out before it hurts me later and before it can spread. So it just keeps one of my Thralls from being from having units brought back to it. But if Nurgle's not killing my Thralls like outright, it's still a problem for them. But it's not something that I've run into, and it is one of the things that can stop it. But that's the beating heart and the soul list of the Soul Render. Everything else is just the Thralls and keeping them alive. The Tidecaster in Acheron Council on a 2-up does her tide rolls, which is either you can't be shot unless the unit that's shooting you is within 12, +1 to run and charge, which I used to good effect in the weekend. There's a lot of situations where I needed that extra inch for the run, and got my Reavers into shooting because they can run and shoot. And then, or you can make someone take an extra D3 damage when they retreat. That's the other option for the Tidecaster. I did try to use that one, but then no one ever retreated. But that's fine, because that's what I wanted them to not do. They didn't retreat, so they didn't take the extra D3, but that means they stayed in combat with Thralls, which means that my game plan was going off, because, that's where I want you to be. If you're in combat with my Thralls, I have the advantage. Then we've got Lotan, 2 Alopexes. Lotan for his auto wound spell, and just for the chance to get rerolls when you kill enemy units on your spellcasting. That's great. His crit auto win spell is great too. That helps the thralls because I don't have crit 2 hits and I don't usually get the crit mortals. So anything that helps the thralls do damage is great. Alopex is for scouting force and for interrupting cav charges mostly. And then the Leviathan for both force multiplier when it comes to killing enemies, especially enemy foot heroes. The Leviathan has a penchant for knocking out enemy foot heroes with its charge impact mortals that only works on infantry, but works on infantry heroes and can do 6 mortal wounds, and then 7 attacks that have crit mortals that are 3 damage a pop. And then the ability to move the Leviathan around to support either of my 220 blocks of thralls with a ward was just very strong. It's also great for keeping your heroes alive if you're getting alpha striked or if you don't get your shooting like negation off, or if your opponent has spells. That's another thing that messes my list up a little bit is spells. For when I've moved my heroes out from obscuring because I have to take objectives. And then Scourge of Gyran, Achillean Thrallmaster for the -1 to rend aura on all Namarti units, so it works on Reavers and Thralls, which makes Reavers actually kind of deceptively as tanky as Thralls because they have the same base stats.
Does that work for shooting attacks too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. It works on everything. It's dumb. It only works on Namarti units, so it's only on my Thralls and the Thrallmaster himself. I actually messed that up in my game 3. I thought it didn't work on the Thrallmaster, but then I looked at it later. It didn't make any difference. It was just like Sigvald charged the Thrallmaster and killed him. He would have done it anyway, even without the rend negation. But then Sigvald got hooked by the Soul Render in that the next turn I charged the Soul Render into Sigvald and hooked him because he's only 7 wounds.
How many hook kills did you get over the weekend?
That was it. Oh,
okay.
No, he also killed a Free Guild Marshal on foot that was with the Command Corps. Because the Command Corps is like, it's like, oh, we'll give the 5-up ward to him, and I'm like, hook him. I don't give a shit about your wards. I don't give a shit about a negation. It's just
didn't you also kill Callus and Ortol?
I did No, I killed one of them in just combat, I think.
Oh, so you were asking for that ruling before you even rolled it.
We hadn't even gotten in combat yet.
Okay.
Like that's why we asked for the ruling ahead of, and we'll talk about that when we get to the game 4. I'm going to briefly go through, or actually, did I miss anything? The 20 Reavers. I have 20 Reavers. They're great for teleporting. They're great for shooting. Yeah. And then, do we want to go over Corey's stuff, or should I move back to my stuff?
No. Stick to your stuff. So, we are potentially going to be getting Corey on. It should look like a natural but wonky transition in this particular episode of the podcast. We'll all be wearing something different. So,
very likely to be wearing something different.
But
be someone else. It will be. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Corey is going to be joining us momentarily.
Yeah, momentarily for you. Some other amount of time, indeterminate for us. So I'll just start by talking about my 5 opponents. So my first opponent for WCW, I played Brian G's Dark Oath Marauders list. That also had Scarbrand as an ally into the Slaves of Darkness. That was on Noxious Nexus. It was my first thing. And I'm going to be honest, it was a great game. I had a great time. But it was also a game where I had a fairly sizable, in my opinion, advantage. Just based on list composition. Marauders have almost no save. And I also have +1 rend for all of my Thralls into Marauders because they're infantry. Scarbrand was dangerous, but I also have +1 rend into monsters. Scarbrand got into my turtle in turn 2, and with -1 to hit and the +1 to save from all out defense, I managed to weather Scarbrand, only taking, I think the turtle had suffered like 4 wounds and ended up only taking 6 wounds in total from Scarbrand. So I was
That's
up to.
crazy.
I mean, with a 3-up save with +1 to save, -1 to hit, and also a 5-up ward on top of it all. And then also, he didn't go with Scarbrand right away, so I got some thralls into it. I think I gave him -1 to wound as well. Because when thralls do combat damage to you, they give you -1 to wound for the rest of the phase against any target. Doesn't matter who you're hitting. Which will come up when we talk about Sam's game against the Trogs for game 5. So again, on that close map, I basically got to run out, and we had a melee infantry brawl, which was great. I haven't had a good melee infantry brawl in a long time in Age of Sigmar, because just lists that I have often run into Cav, or I'm running Cav and I run into infantry. It's been a while since I had 2 groups of 1 wound infantry fighting each other. So that was fun. Scarbrand was scary as hell. I really lucked out not losing my turtle to Scarbrand, and then the rest of my army just sort of formed up around the turtle and pushed Brian out of being able to fight me in the center there. He brought back some of his Dark Oath, but at that point I had the board fairly locked down. The Reavers or the Soul Render bringing back models when he would like kill me with his mortals, like his death mortals, his murder rolls. Just a Soul Render, then being like, all right, well, here's 3 to 5 more guys in that unit that just lost 6 guys. It's like, oh, okay. So It was a rough one. My second game was against Alex and his Skaven, which could have been bad if my Tidecaster roll didn't go off, because Alex was running 4 lightning cannons, and then a unit of rattling gunners in addition. I got lucky that Alex rolled very below average on his rattling gunners, on his covering fire into my thralls turn 1. He only had 45 shots into those thralls, which sounds bad, but then you have to remember I'm -1 to hit. And
5s create 2 hits.
And I'm also -1 rend because the Thrallmaster's there doing his job. I could be +1 to save because I can all out defense because there's no real penalty to it. I ran those 20 thralls into 40 clan rats, and they lifted 20 clan rats because thralls, man. 3s and 4s, Ren 2 against infantry basically means that he doesn't have a save. He had some 6-up wards on some of them. And then I was able to continue to push up the center of the board while keeping his cannons from being able to shoot. A shark fought 20 clan rats on the left-hand flank and just didn't lose because the shark was a G. I got really lucky in my saves on that side. Basically, anytime the clan rats... they weren't all able to fight at once, so he only had like 2 ranks fighting at any given time, so that helped too. Because of the terrain and the board edge on the left-hand side. What battle plan was that even? I don't remember.
It was a 6-1. It was
it was
Equinox.
No, Creeping Corruption.
Sure.
Yeah, Creeping Corruption with the lines. Yeah, with the lines. I had Reavers kill some rats on the other side. The other thing is I was able to keep his gnaw holes from being spawned in pretty frequently. Because a shark just eats a gnaw hole, apparently. It doesn't have a lot of save, doesn't have a lot of wounds. Shark just goes, I'm Ren 2, I don't care, and bites through it. I managed to pick up one of his warp lightning cannons blew itself up. But at that point I had basically taken the center and was holding the center. So it was more so like a final nail in the coffin rather than like, oh, this is a game-turning explosion. Even when he did get those shots off, that is also affected by -1 to hit, the Warp Lightning Cannons. So if he doesn't all-out defense, it's a 5-ups or mortals, and I have access to wards, and most of my heroes can't be shot. So it was another tough matchup for my opponent where my list just had a lot of decent counters. And I had some decent luck when it came to the Rattling Gunners not shooting me off the board.
Sure.
Game 3 was most assuredly my sweatiest game. That was against Zach and his He Knights of Slanesh, which was an Invader host, if I remember correctly.
He was our best. He was our best Chaos faction too.
Yes.
He did great.
And he had what was it? 10 Slick Blade Seekers. That were obviously his like big hammer unit. He also had Twin Souls, 2 of the Bliss Barb Seekers, 2 5-man units of Bliss Barb Seekers, Sigvald and Glutos, and then I think there was an Infernal and Raptress.
Yeah,
the lady with the harp made out of her own flesh.
Yep, that's the Enraptures. I think it was because it's the cheapest hero they have.
It is most assuredly that was the reason, and he put his heroic trait and artifact on her. She was literally there. He told me she was literally there to hold those, which made sense. In that game, we were playing Life Cycles, so the one that spins what primary and secondary objectives are. He took the first turn. I think I gave him the first turn. I don't remember off the top of my head. And he charged me with the Slick Blade Seekers into a 20-man unit of Thralls that were just -1 to rend. They were not +1 to save. They were not 5-up ward. But they were reducing the rend, and they were able to all-out defense. Slick Blade Seekers are 2 damage on the charge with crit mortals. But he didn't roll like a half the amount of crit mortals, and my unit lived with 1 wound. With 1 model on the board, and then I brought back 5 of them. His Slick Blade Seekers never left that side of the map. The best that the issue I ran into with that particular thing was obscuring against me. The Slick Blade Seekers were able to stay in obscuring on the wildwoods that are in my territory, like the bottom left of the board, and Glutos was sitting on one of the area terrain in the center. And so was, because Glutos is a war machine, was unable to be shot. So what I did was I just cleaned up the Bliss Barb Seekers, the Infernal and Raptress, and 10 of the Twin Souls, and then had 5 Twin Souls come back and cleared those out, and just sort of went, I'll hold this rest of the board over here, and we'll just fight here in the center with my Thralls. So the Thralls were fighting the Slick Blade Seekers, another 5-man of the Bliss Barb, and then another Twin Souls and Glutos for like 4 rounds. Like there was 4 rounds of just us in the center duking it out. I was never able to kill Glutos because Glutos just heals 6 every turn.
Yeah.
So without being able to shoot him, I was never able to kill him. And Glutos ended up eventually taking my home objective, but at that point I had gained enough from Scouting Force and from Master the Paths that I was able to just be way ahead on points, even with giving up my home objective. And his home objective ended up being the primary, I think. So it's just it was a grind where the Thralls again just lived and did exactly what they needed to do, which is exist.
Nice.
Yeah, it is interesting that Glutos, as large as he is, can stand next to the smallest piece of obscuring terrain possible. You just somehow you can't touch him.
It's because war machines can benefit from obscuring.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
the dumbest thing.
It's strange. It's definitely strange, especially when I'm looking at it. Like, I don't want to take too much time. Like, I would be going into Chorfs, and those artillery pieces look like they're going to be on 100mm bases.
Okay,
Like,
they can be obscuring, baby.
They can be obscuring, and
that's
if
silly.
they have respectable range, like that's going to be terrifying. But moving on.
If those bulls don't get the monster keyword and get the war machine keyword, they're going to be obscuring.
They all have monster. They have monster.
They have monster?
We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
So Path to Glory confirmed their monsters.
Oh. Round 4, baby.
Round 4. Oh, the other thing, MVP of that game was, you would think it would be the Soul Render killing Sigvald, but it was actually my Fincarnate, my Incarnate of the Deep, who lived with 1 wound and a 6-up ward. So he 6-up warded 2 different damage that came in to kill him, so that he could then kill the Slickblade Seekers himself. It was wild. He was like, I was like, oh, he's got 11 wounds. The 1 damage goes through, roll it, 6-up ward. And then did it again, and then went and killed the Slickblade Seekers. That Incarnate really did his job.
I could feel just the tension when I walked over when we were done with my game.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I could feel they're like, ooh, every dice roll is really mattering now.
Yeah. Then we go to round 4. Round 4 and 5 hold special places in my heart because I have played Kevin a couple of times. Kevin was my round 4 opponent. He was running cities. I've played him a couple of times. I have never beaten Kevin. I'd never beaten Kevin before round 4.
He's a good player.
He's a good player. He's a great player.
Yeah.
We were playing linked ley lines, and I was playing, obviously, against his cities, which is odd because it was, I thought we were going to be playing passing seasons, which would have been a mirror of my first game of Ideneth, because that was against Kevin in TTS on passing seasons while he was playing Cities of Sigmar. But it didn't come through. We instead played linked ley lines. I went to roll my Tidecaster roll turn 1 to stop his cannons from ripping me to shreds, and I rolled a 1, which means that my entire army was just hanging out. Obviously, there was I was able to get obscuring for one of the 20 blocks and some of the guys, but if I didn't put them out there, I was just never going to score points. And his Soggy Cavaliers, because he has 2 reinforced Soggy Cavaliers, would have just kept me pinned in my territory the whole game. So I knew that this was going to be bad, so I just was like, move everybody up the board. We're walking up forward. We're going to try to take as many of these objectives, score a 10-point turn this first round, get my battle tactics, and just try to get as many points as possible. He lifted both my sharks in the first turn,
Sure.
with
Easy
his
pickings.
with some shooting and with a Soggy Cav charge that got an 11. There were some crazy big charge rolls, but what ended up happening is he charged his Cav into one of my Thrall units, but I was able to pick up enough of the models from his because he has impact hits, right? It was either impact hits or
No.
shooting. It was shooting.
Because Soggy Cap doesn't have impact hits.
Okay, so it was the shooting that he did, or there was something that caused me to pick up some of my Thralls, and what I was able to do is I picked up enough Thralls that I was able to get a 6-inch countercharge with the turtle to get them into the Cavaliers and start doing some good damage into that unit of Cavaliers. And I ended up, those Cavaliers ended up having to be Pokeballed back at some point. But when both the units of Cavaliers were Pokeballed back, I also killed the Cav Marshal in that sequence at some point with the turtle. So it was just, I killed the Cav Marshal. He Pokeballed back using Zenestra's War Scroll pair because it was obviously Soggy and Zenestra. But then I was able to move my Thralls up and was healing them the whole time. I almost lost some Reavers off to the side before I teleported them back to my my bubble using the Tide, and then I started bringing them back. Callus and Toll teleported behind my Wizards, but weren't able to get the 7-inch charge into my Wizards, and so I had to charge the boat. And then actually one of them died to the Reavers that were standing at that boat in melee combat, just because it was 20 attacks from Reavers, so 20 attacks into a 4-up save and a 5-up ward, you can probably do 5 damage if you get a little lucky. And it was, I think, 2 or 3 rounds of combat that we eventually ended up getting through that. He then had to charge his Warhulk and some of his other guys into my Thralls and my hero stack to try to pick up some intercept and recover. He did manage to kill one of my heroes with Soggy Zenestra near the end of the game. with a 3-up doing that many mortals, rolled a 6. But at that point, I had pushed him back enough and was taking enough objectives and preventing him from taking either like linked leyline to have the 3 that I was able to just grind out. I think it was a 5-point win.
It was close for you guys.
Yeah. It was not close. It was sweaty as hell, but it was just thralls just existing and doing their damnedest every single time, which is honest. It's the theme of my list. It's right there. There's thralls everywhere. It's no Marty Beach Party. My round 5 game was against Sam and his Trogs, and Scragrot. Scragrot, the new wolf boss, a 6-pack of the wolf cavalry, 2 of the chariots, and some Boingrot bounders, and then 2 units of 6 Trogs. There might be a couple other things that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but that's
You hit them all. I played him. He hit them all.
Nailed it. That's what
you
I do.
won. You won round 4 by 3 points.
3 points.
Crazy game.
So sweat. There's a chance that I could have maybe won it by more, but when we got to round 5, we were running out of time, and so I just opted to take the turn round 5 and double and score 10 points across the board. Just so that I knew I had 10 points. Like, there was a possibility that if I give him the turn, I could score a 20-point turn. But there was so many like back and forths we would have to do at that point that I was just like, we don't have time for this. I'm just going to say I take the turn and score the 10 points. There was some possibility for more score, but again, I couldn't take the risk, and we didn't have the time. Just because, again, 2 grindy armies like that with a lot of dice rolls back and forth slowed the game down quite a bit. Against Sam, Sam is another person who I've played a couple of times and have also never beaten him. Sam and I first played when he joined the 2nd or 3rd quarter of the league that we run for Broken Ranks. We played at Grognard's Batavia, which was the first time I'd ever played at that store, and it was my Lumineth against a similar list, but he had the it was still a Glooms by Gits list. I shouldn't say it was similar. He had the Squigs in 3rd edition when they did the squiggy things and came back a lot.
Oh yeah, that's Squig herd.
Yeah, I lost that game pretty heavily. Although my Score Seeker did kill his Scragrot, but I then played him at an RTT and then again in another thing, and I have never beaten Sam. I've never been able to beat Sam. This is game 5 was the first time that I was able to actually take a win against Sam, and I gotta say it was again the thralls just existing and being hard to lift. We were playing passing seasons. I had thralls lined up in the center. I had reavers go and take the side objective, and the side objective like on my side of the table, and then I had my 2 Alapexes take the side objective on the other side. So those are the 2 corner objectives there. The green ones, the green objectives. The Reavers ended up fighting Trogs and fighting 2 Rockgut Troggoth, or a reinforced Rockgut Troggoth. They managed to live through 1 activation, but the second one they did not get through. On the other side, my Alapexes ended up fighting the Snarlfang and a little bit of one of the Boingrot Bounder units. And because of my covering fire that gave a D6 charge to the Boingrot Bounders, I was actually able to keep them from having charged and pick up 2 models. And then the Snarlfang came in, almost killed 1 shark, and then got counter bit to death basically by that self-same shark over 2 rounds of combat. There was also an Abyssal Tendril in there that was waving around, slapping people in the face. I also had my 1 10-man unit of thralls charge up the middle to gum up another 6-man, 6-unit or 6 model Troggoth unit. They lasted 2 activations, but eventually they did die. But what they did was they kept most of his forces bottled up in that in between those two pieces of terrain that are in the center there for your deployment zones. Because he also had a Scuttling Grave tied out that was preventing him from moving forward too much. So I took advantage of the terrain. I took advantage of the thralls just being a little bit tankier than they really should be. Eventually, his those middle 6 Rockgut Troggoths ended up getting into my hero stack by charging my shipwreck in the center there. But I was able to countercharge my 20-man thralls in behind them. So they were fighting thralls on one side, heroes on the other.
Sandwich.
It was a Trog sandwich. I think if Sam had just, instead of trying to kill any of my models in that, had just turned and killed the boat, he probably would have won the game.
Yeah, one of the things from playing Ideneth over the past 2 months I realized is that it is shocking how few people try to kill the boat. I think I've had 2 people try to take out my boat. Kevin was one of them, and I suspect that's because of his game with you. And he was like, no, fuck this boat.
Well, in fairness, the game that I played with him, I got my concealing tide ritual off, and so his only valid target was the boat.
Sure.
And then he realized how easy it was to kill and how much that helped him kill my army, and he was like, I'm going to do that every time. And he's right to.
Kill more boats? Yep.
Kill more boats. So if the Trogs had killed the boats, but what Sam tried to do was try to kill the Soul Render with... he had 2 Trogs fighting the Soul Render, 3 Trogs fighting the Thralls. But I was able to activate first, and so I gave him -1 to wound, and then because my Soul Render has the Armor of Sithai, he gave them -1 to hit. And that's against all units that the target... Like, any unit that's in combat with the Soul Render has -1 to hit if he hasn't charged. So since my Soul Render didn't charge, my Thralls did, they were able to give him -1 to hit and wound, which basically meant that he did negative damage to those units.
Yeah.
He killed, I think, like 4 Thralls, but those 4 Thralls weren't even in combat, and then they just came back. He eventually tried to continue moving through to get to the rest of my heroes, but what ended up happening was I ended up basically just containing him in that little spot with those 4 Trogs that were alive, and then they weren't able to move far enough away from my units to actually retreat, so they were just straight up stuck there. And that actually prevented him from coming and trying to score my home objective at one point when I ran my Tidecaster away.
There was a couple times where I came by that table and he was definitely trying to break through the middle, and you just were not letting him get through, man.
No, they were
crazy.
They were in combat for a long time. I actually managed to finally get in that game my 3rd part of Tide of Sea to have everyone fight first. Against Trogs, it didn't feel that great, but what it did allow me to do was basically run everyone and get them into combat where I now had the activation advantage, even in turns that I didn't strike first.
Okay.
I got my turtle into Scragrot and killed Scragrot, because 6 mortal wounds on the charge and then 7
I witnessed
attacks.
that one.
Yeah. Then 7 attacks from the turtle to follow it up. It's like, yeah, you've got a 4-up ward, but does it really matter?
Yeah, I watched that. You were trying to get your incarnate in too, but he was just so big.
Yeah, no, the incarnate couldn't get in, but then the turtle managed to power through and sit on the home objective, on Sam's home objective, and score that against. It was like a 3-man unit of Snarlfang that he had brought back and a chariot, and they just don't count as enough models to counteract the turtle. Because I think the turtle is 10 because he's got dudes on top.
No, he's 5.
He's 5? No, he should be 10. He should be 10. Give him 10.
Okay.
That only makes sense. But he managed to take it from those, and I managed to kill the named wolf boss with just some thralls. it was a split activation between some thralls and thralls fighting him and Troggoths, and I did almost no damage to the Troggoths, but I did at least one to make sure they were -1 to wound, and then I killed his hero there. And then it was just, again, I just iterated on the fact that I just had more bodies on the board, had more activations to go through. So anytime he would be like, okay, well, I have to activate this model first or else I'm just going to die. And I'm like, cool, then these thralls are going to fight these Troggoths in the middle who are still trying to fight my Soul Render, who still can't do any damage to him because he's a Soul Render and he's a 3-up save and -1 to hit and -1 to wound, +1 to save, can all out defense against your hitting on 5s Trogs.
Yeah. Sorry, bro. You ain't got no bitches.
It was a bodies. It was a bodies game, and I had the more bodies.
I think your list also goes really well into his list map specifically.
Yeah.
Because how his list is designed, because I played him game 2, and this is where I started seeing like, ooh, I'm really rusty at just playing in general. Chariots don't do anything other than run around and try to you up. That's their entire purpose. They do no damage whatsoever. The Snarlfang Cav, they can do damage, but you have -1 to hit anywhere, and they don't.
Yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect you. I remember I came by that table and I was like,
yep.
I was like, oh, Connor's gonna win, and I walked away.
It was my game to lose, and it was for me to lose. So
I was like, oh, this is a terrible matchup for Sam. Connor's gonna win. He's got it.
Yeah.
So
it was...
Yeah, I was tired by that game 5. I don't know if I really like thought out all of my options, but with Master of the Paths and Scouting Force, I can pretty comfortably score at least 5 tactics if I can get. I think the only thing I scored 4 tactics that game because I couldn't actually score the last part of Scouting Force. Just because he was castled up on his objectives for so long. Like, I just don't think I think if the game had gone 6 rounds, I would have been able to score it, but like I just couldn't get over there in the 5 rounds allotted without throwing away some of my like board position.
I really don't think that people should be actively stressing over 6. I think the goal is 5.
Sure.
Right? And 5 can be done. 5 can be done and 5 can be strived for. But stressing over 6 is an easy way to lose the game and not score primary.
Yeah. No, I was even finding myself like if I get 4, I feel okay if I do decent on primary. I feel pretty comfortable doing 4, but shoot for 5, I think all.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And now, is there any army that you, Rich? Is there any army that you have seen played that you think, oh no, I hope I don't run into this army?
KO.
Huh?
KO.
Sure.
So I
think Clay would have given him a hard time.
Yeah, I think I get to not have my heroes and turtle get shot off the board because of how I'm able to position and with the Tidecaster. The problem is that I don't have an answer for getting shot to my thralls and then having my thralls take a Skywarden charge. They just get cooked, cut to pieces immediately.
Oh no!
It's one of those things where, like, and then the Skywardens then get to roll a 2-up to just leave and do more mortals to me. Like, I don't get to tie them up like I do a lot of other models. Now I have some options, but like with not having like primal manifestations or like reasonable access to mortal wounds, I'm just weight of dice trying to kill his boats and into a 2-up save. That's just not likely.
Yeah,
you're strangely a very fair elf army into certain just factions.
I feel like
I don't think I have any luck into KO. I have to like hope for luck. I would like to get primal manifestations for the burning head and for the impact hit from the jaws to have a little bit of answer to KO. But like my manifestations Ren 1 against them. What my manifestation does get to do is eat up the engine dock, which is cool. There's a lot of counter. I can do a lot of counter plays with the engine dock and like cutting up his little engine things if he's trying to keep me in place because they're Ren 2 against that. But like, I don't clear his boats. What it boils down to is does my -1 to hit like prevent him from shooting my army off the board? If the answer is yes, then I have a decent chance as long as his combat attacks are reasonable. But if his combat attacks spike a little bit, I'm probably just lost anyway.
Fair.
I personally think that KO is overtuned currently. I think they're undercosted across the board. Their two up saves are 2 up saves on all their boats, and the cost of their boats. Maybe the Ironclad's probably fair, but like the frigate and like especially gun haulers and soggy gun haulers are pretty undercosted. Their infantry models kind of undercosted, just across the board. So like maybe this doesn't feel as bad after the battle scroll, but again, we have to see what happens. But no, I would hate to run. I would hate to run into KO. I would hate to run into New Night Haunt running Harridans. And I would hate to run into Nurgle with the Avalanche.
Yeah, I got shoulder checked by Avalanche Demon Prince over the weekend, and it was a bad time to watch my Mountain Spirit just crumple because something touched it just by charging. It was really sad.
Yeah.
Not much you could do. Like, them's the breaks. It's really cool to see, but yeah, it's like your Leviathans, your Alapexes just fold immediately. Crash into your thralls, and you're just crying because that's almost half your thralls just gone from a charge. Nothing more, nothing less.
If the thralls have the turtle behind them, they can weather it just fine. But if he then strikes first following it, I don't have enough thralls to meaningfully damage him. But at that point, hopefully it's not a double turn scenario where he then just powers through, goes away, and then comes back and does it again. Like
she just goes into the turtle next.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he would just like power through off remaining thralls. They're diseased because he diseases them before he then powers through, because power through is the end of the turn. Then more of them die to maybe diseases, and then I bring some of them back, which doesn't bring them back because they're thralls. And then he gets another turn after that and is able to hit my turtle, and my turtle just like folds. Assuming I don't spike my 5-ups, which I can. You know, it's not that unreasonable.
Yeah. We're not going to pretend that can't happen, but we don't want to rely on. I have to spike my rolls to make this matchup a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think in those situations, what I do is I just put my Reavers out front. And then I just go, cool, you're a 3-up save, that's fine. 41 shots, crit auto wound, Ren 1. Go ahead, make that many rolls. Oh, you've killed like all my Reavers? That's okay. They're basically for the streets anyway. Like it's.
I learned that with my Sentinels.
Yeah.
Really quickly, and just playing with this, like I don't care if they die. They're gonna go to the sides of the boards. They're gonna dance. They're gonna piss something off because we're elves with range that manages to piss everybody off.
It's true.
Every game.
It's like some form of like global Age of Sigmar taunt. It's legitimately a tank taunt ability from any MMO with elves with bows. If someone sees an elf with a bow, they're like, that motherfucker needs to die. Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
I learned that really quickly after the weekend, and I feel much better. I'm like, oh, yeah. Because we could get -1 to hit relatively easily, and that just makes them live. That makes them live enough against most things. You almost always overcommit to killing them.
It's kind of silly how ridiculously close Reavers are to Sentinels. Like they're a very close analog unit across the board.
I wonder why that is.
I mean, they're elves. They're both made by Teclis. So one of them's just got half a soul.
Yeah, you have the more. We have the mobility and the range kind of as a wash because I can get more range. You can just run.
Yeah.
And then I always have my -1, and you can choose when you want to go back to it or not.
Yeah, I don't have access to -1 as often as you do, but we both have crit auto wound, and you're 20 shots with Sentinels.
21, yeah.
21, yeah. I mean, I have the weighted dice advantage, but that's about it.
Yeah.
With 41 shots with a 20 stack Reavers, but yeah, it's I they can get a 5-up ward, they can be brought back. I feel like Reavers might actually be a little bit undercosted now that I think about it. Honestly,
oh boy, here we go.
I listen. They have the same access to defensive buffs as Thralls. They have the only thing that they don't have is the Thralls -1 to wound.
Yeah, they don't really have the combat stats. That's the trade-off.
Yeah, they have one attack that are 3s and 4s, no rend. That's true. But I'm saying, like, when you're looking at, like, what a unit of Reavers can do by just being your front line over a unit of Thralls, Reavers perform that function better against current armies than Thralls do because they get covering fire. Like, 41 dice covering fire, even at 4s and 4s, is, like, a pretty hefty weight of dice when you're looking at a unit coming across. Like, that can pick up 2 cav. That can pick up, like, 5 or 6 dudes charging you if it's an infantry unit. That can spike and kill a hero with no problem at all. It can do some decent damage into some monsters. And for 140, 280 points for 20 of them. And then they can be -1 to rend because the Thrallmaster gives them the same buff. They can be -1 to hit because everyone in my army can be -1 to hit. They can get the +1 save from the boat. They can get the 5-up ward from the turtle. Like, I think they're just a better frontlining unit than my Thralls, and I'm gonna play around with that. But the other thing they do is they're good business for like trading efficiently, and they're great business for throwing off to your opponent's side of the board and taking 2 objectives, or like to an objective and a piece of terrain for scouting, and then saying, "Hey, you have to devote some guys to go kill those dudes, but watch out, I'll just redeploy and shoot you off the board." Because that's another thing they can do is redeploy and then covering fire.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It cost me 2 command points, but like the number of times that someone was like, "Oh,
you could do it."
Yeah, the number of times that someone was like, "Oh, well, this guy is 2 inches closer than this guy," and I'm like, "You do realize I can redeploy, right?" And then they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I can redeploy and then shoot you." So like, make sure you be aware of that. And then they're like, "Oh, let me change my guys around." I'm like, "That's fine." And then I redeploy the Reavers like 6 inches back, and he's like, "Wait, I thought you were gonna." I'm like, "I didn't say I was going to shoot you. I just said I could." Reavers.
Gotta respect it, man.
Reavers are great. I love them. I have another 20. I don't think I'm ever going to fit them in a list. When it comes to what I'm changing about this list, I don't think I'm actually going to make any changes to this list unless the battle scroll gives me a lot of points to play with. I think that
or less.
I don't know what they're going.
I don't think they're going to go down. I don't think they're going to.
The only thing
up my balls.
The only thing that I think might happen is Armor of Sithai might get a point cost. Because right now it doesn't. Form of Fang Mora does, Armor of Sithai doesn't.
I don't think it is because it requires you to be in combat.
Yeah.
And not have
charging.
Yeah.
The vast majority of who you'd expect to want it are also going to charge.
Yeah, I mean, like, it obviously would go great on an Eidolon of Storm, but the Eidolon of Storm would then never be damage 3 because he's never charging. It would be great on an Achelian King, but again, he wouldn't get his charge bonuses. It's just your use of it, Carlos, with the Eidolon of the Sea is probably the best use of it in the book. And it's also the one that has me the most concerned that it might get a little bit of the nerf stick.
Not until they start 5-0ing, which no one's 5-0ing with Ideneth right now. So
well, no, there was a 5-0 from today's Stat Center, but it was all Sharks. It was Ether Sea Predators, and then there was a 4-1 with Ether Sea Predators. Sharks are like Ether Sea Predators is probably getting a 40-point cost because Ether Sea Predators is actually busted.
You're busted.
I'm not. I'm just telling you how it is. Like,
I'm gonna have to watch that episode.
Yeah, I think it was Matt Beasley who brought it to a 46 person GT. I think.
Oh, sure. I'll take a look at it. But Rich,
Yeah.
congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
first 5-0 on being the
Yeah.
Windy City champ. Super excited. Appreciate you going over everything with us. We are going to sign off real quick and get Corey on board to this extra packed podcast episode.
Mm.
So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. Well, greetings from the future. we are back with totally the same outfit you saw us in last time.
It's actually the past for everyone involved. Because they're not going to watch this live, obviously. So.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Greetings from the not so distant past.
Not so distant past. We are back with our special guest Corey O'Keefe from Above Average Generals. He was our other 5-0 at the tournament with Cities of Sigmar, and we have him on to kind of pick his brain a little bit about the event, about the list, the future of Cities of Sigmar, and just kind of get to know him a little bit. So, Corey, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about your Warhammer career.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Warhammer career started just after COVID. I think before COVID, I was playing Crisis Protocol pretty heavily. And then before that, War Machine. I have a huge War Machine background. I started that game back when Mark II came out and played that all throughout my college years. And then as I got older, I realized that page 5. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. I think someone posted it in the Discord.
Yes, they did.
Play like you got a pair. That mentality kind of went out the window, and so did my love for the game. So I left that to look for another one. Eventually ended up in 40K, I think, like most of us did. Then transitioned from 40K to Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
I started playing that at the tail end of 2nd edition, but didn't have my first event until 3rd. And have been playing it ever since.
Sweet.
Nice.
No, I think I commented that with Mark II with War Machine, it kind of slowly became the Yu-Gi-Oh of tabletop gaming because it became wombo combos, and hopefully you could just kill your opponent before they could kill you in your one combo, else you lost the game.
Yep. Nope. There's a stream somewhere of me playing one of the most busted factions in the world, and my opponent didn't even get a chance to move it. I killed his caster and won the game.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was like, this is just not fun. My opponent's like, I don't know what your guys do, and I'm like, well, let me educate you. And then we went and had a beer.
Nice.
The education was the 5 minutes of shooting him, and then the rest of it was beer commiserating.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happened too.
Yeah, it's so funny how many people start with 40K. I feel like I say it every time we have a new guest on, like, and they're like, "Well, started with 40K and eventually moved here." I'm like, "Tale as old as time, baby."
I feel like I'm the only person who didn't.
I mean, you
he has a
technically
Necron
did.
army.
I do have a Necron army. Did I play with that Necron army? No. No. Is it still in the closet, half painted? Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
GW Adventure did your GW Adventure start in 40K, Rich? Because that's how everyone else here was.
So in fairness, the first thing I got from GW was Dawn of War Dark Crusade. So I played Dawn of War Dark Crusade, and then I played Dawn of War 2. I played a little bit of Dawn of War 2's expansions, and then Dawn of War 3 came out, and I watched someone stream it, and I was like, no. My first Total War, my first fantasy was Total War Warhammer. So I played Total War Warhammer pretty exclusively, and I watched a lot of streams of that back in like 2015, 2016, right around that time.
Cool.
You know what's so funny, Corey, is we probably could have been friends a long time ago, but because there's a store here in the Chicagoland area called Games Plus that I've been going to since I was like 17, 18. And the first time I went in and started buying like miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons, I saw the Hordes stuff, and I bought like a starter set for the Troll Bloods. I was like, this is so, and the only reason I even did that was because I was walking by the aisle, I saw it, and the guy was trying to sell me on one of the factions, and then I saw the troll with the the little goblin on top with a Gatling gun, just like, and I was like, that's the
Yeah.
coolest freaking thing I've ever seen. And I was like, I'm like, this is it, I'm in. And I bought it, and I kept trying to find people to play with at different stores, and like, I just couldn't make friends. I was like, okay, so nobody plays this, and I nobody plays this in this area, and like I wasn't that tech savvy at the time, so I didn't even know where to go on the internet to find people to play with or anything. So I had a couple, I had a bunch of Troll Blood models, but just nobody to play with. So we might have played together, but eventually I ended up just going over to 40K, and it's pretty easy to find people to play 40K with. So
I actually,
Yeah,
I just realized I have some War Machine guys here in this little Star Wars lunchbox.
why?
hey,
I don't know, man. I bought them forever ago. Actually, Carlos, I think it was at the same time that you bought that Troll Blood thing, because I remember that happening in the store. I'm pretty sure you and I were there for one of Adam's campaigns, getting D&D minis, and
It's possible.
and so I bought the Russian, like the Russian War Machine ones.
yeah, he
Can't
bought
believe
Gator.
that core memory just
Yeah.
like unlocked for you randomly. I put these in a Star Wars lunchbox that just so happens to be behind me.
Behind me on my hobby desk, yeah, I just happened to have like a small number of War Machine models. Like I've got two of the mechs, and then a unit of snipers, and then I think there's a hero here somewhere with a sight.
Yeah, but like back in my day, the whole line was still pewter, and I think like right when I was about to, right when I couldn't find any friends to play with, they had started shifting everything to plastic. But I was like, that's not gonna, that doesn't help me make friends. So
No, it was the community on the south side here of Indiana wasn't the biggest. I had to drive about an hour and a half on game nights just to go get some games in for a little bit there. Then I found a local forum that we started posting on to recruit new people to come play.
that's pretty
And
cool.
then we found out some of the best players in the game live in the Louisville area. So we started organizing events with them, and they would drive up here, then we would drive down there. And we actually became one of the more competitive groups in the
That's pretty
area.
cool.
It was really cool for its time. Looking back on it, we were just a bunch of dicks that were trying to win a bunch of events. But we were young. We
Yeah.
were in college, just trying to have some fun with, because we were nerds. We didn't want to go to frat parties or anything like that. We just wanted to throw dice and drink some beer. So,
Yeah, 100%.
so it was great that we got to meet the crowd that made us competitive. We already had that competitive drive. But yeah, it was a fun time. Don't really regret anything that you do during your college years. It is what it
No.
is. But yeah, we probably crossed paths at some point. Just like with this game, I traveled all over the states playing War Machine and boards. So yeah,
Nice.
it was a good time.
Hell yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the human cannonball unionized. So now we can't even fire him.
Nope, can't even fire that guy.
Can't even fire that
My
guy.
last nerve. Yep.
I love that. I love that naming lists has become like a whole other thing unto itself now. All of a sudden, because that definitely wasn't a thing in third edition, but like fourth edition, we're upping our game now. Like, let's go.
It's because you can see them when you print them now, so all of a sudden everyone knows what it is. It's like, oh, I gotta come up with something fun or funny or whatever.
Fair.
Well, then
but
you also got Rob reading them out every Monday on his stat show, and
Mhm.
everybody
true.
wants to hear something funny.
Oh yeah,
I want to make the British man say something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's evolved into. Now we have a naming meta. So
Yup.
It's fair. Well, yeah, walk us through your flavor of Cities of Sigmar, and then we'll go from there.
yeah, so this is the third iteration of my Cities of Sigmar list. I have tried out. It's essentially the same guts. Like everything is still there, which I think most Cities of Sigmar players have figured out that 3 cannons with Pontifex, 2 units of ponies, and then X amount of command corps, depending on what you've put in your list, is the formula. And that's what's working. So people are consistently taking those items. What I have noticed, the previous 2 GTs that I went to, I forewarned those. My loss was to the double, and my loss was being too jammed up. So anybody with speed like KO, speed and armor really was the deciding factor in those, and then getting doubled. Nothing you can
Sure.
really do about getting doubled, which is why my list is a 5-drop, just like everybody else's that's running cities right now. You want to make sure you can prevent that, or you take opportunity, take the double, lift up the rest of their army, and win the game. So my take on this, this was built right after Gateway, and it was built to fight the regiment or the Army of Renown from Khorne.
Yep.
So that is, I didn't change it, even though I had prior knowledge that no one was going to bring it to the event. But I wanted to test it anyway because it's still pretty good into KO as well. The gentleman on the Hurricanum, the wizard, his little shooting ability adds up really quick. So turn 3, you're rolling 3 dirty D3s, and then turn 4, it's to help get the list unstuck. Obviously, you want a wizard lizard in there if you've got one, but preferably a wizard. You want a wizard in there, and then I was testing it with the Incarnate at Gateway, which worked out tremendously for me. It was fantastic. I fought the Army of Renown back to back, so round 4 and round 5 I got to fight it. Both games, it did so much work. I think it lifted 2 to 3 heroes by itself every time I casted it, which was great. But then I found out getting through the armor was actually the hardest part. The mortal wounds wasn't really the issue; it was getting through the armor. So then I switched it up to morbid for this run, and then to compensate, I added in the Hurricanum because before it was just the regular guy on foot, and the Cav Marshal. So I dropped the Cav Marshal, switched to regular Cav instead of the Soggy, only because the mortal wound output and Rend 1 did me no good whatsoever into that high armor matchup. And then, so essentially the Incarn turned into Morbid Conjuration, the Field Wizard and the Cav Marshal turned into the Hurricanum, Soggy Cav became regular Cav, and I think that's what we're settled on for right now, at least for me, in my opinion. That list is probably as good as it's going to get for me.
Yeah, I really love the Hurricanum. You're the only other person that I've seen. I'm not saying I've seen every list, right? You're the only list I've seen that runs it. And I 100% agree with the addition of it into the list. When I was messing around with it, I had the non-battle mage version of it because so it's funny because my thinking was, well, what if I don't? What if the ogre dies, right? Or what if I need to give my guys +1 to hit, and the ogre, like the ogre just can't. If the ogre can't function, how else can I give this force to hit army 3s to hit? So that's why I put it in the list, and I think it works out really well for your functionality. So yeah, super cool. Tell us a little bit about your path to victory.
So round 1, I played against Skaven. I can't remember the gentleman's name. I think he was from your club, though.
Yep,
Uh,
that's Nathan. He loves the hobby more than anything else. He's a great guy.
Yep, he was a fantastic opponent. He didn't truly understand the list itself, so we talked about it for a little bit, and then he got to the point where he's like, "That's just too much. We're gonna play a game." So, so we started playing the game, and then he found out real quick. He's like, "Okay, so I can't go anywhere on this board without you being able to bad touch me." And I
Yeah,
said, "Yeah, that's pretty much what Pontifex is doing right now. She's allowing me to reposition essentially my entire army, or at least the critical pieces to touch wherever I need to." So utilizing her, I was able to outmaneuver him and kill all of his rats. Um,
yeah,
Moving on to round 2, I got paired into my clubmate John, who's playing all of the Trogs. This is a matchup I'm familiar with. I play against it all the time.
sure.
Um, so I full send into that list because my list is built around getting unstuck. Um, I cannot get unstuck from Trogs, unfortunately, just because they have so much health in that 5-up board, and they're -1 to your rend, so it's pretty brutal to get through.
Yeah,
So I want to pin him as my first option to keep him off the points. So I alpha pinned him, failed the one back to back to pour my guys out. So he was able to clean up my ponies.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
but I think by the time he was able to chew through them, he dwindled them down pretty quickly. Callus and Toll had already hit the backfield, start cleaning up his support pieces, so they picked up Scrag Rot and a couple other things. Then he just wasn't able to get back up on Scenario, so I was able to take that one. And then round 3, I played against Caradron Overlords. I think that was also was it Clay?
It was Clay.
Clayton, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I played against Clay. He took the turn, slammed everything into my face.
That was scary. I saw that and I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay.
So, and then kind of alluding to what I was talking about when I built the list, is that's what my list is designed to do, is to get unstuck. So I used all the tools that I put in the list, and I cranked into the crucial pieces that I knew he needed to win the game. And then over time, I was slowly able to whittle those down and get around him to score the points that I needed to win the game.
Nice.
So I was really happy about that, because I was like, this was the first true test. I didn't get to face the Army of Renown. I wasn't going to be able to do that against Trogs. I don't want to attempt that against Trogs. I want to keep them locked out. So KO and Corn, that's what I wanted to play it against. I got it, played it, worked well. Very scary, a nail biter for sure. As you've seen, I know you walked by the table a couple times and you're like, oh, that looks rough. But the thing I've noticed about KO is if you can withstand that first 1 or 2 hits, you're usually going to be okay, as long as you have something that can get out and touch objectives.
Yeah.
So I was able to take that one, and then round 4, I got to play against Kamran, who is a phenomenal opponent.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
I've never played against him before. I see him all the time at GTs, but I've never got to play him.
Oh yeah.
I've seen him at Gateway. That was a fun one. He deployed his bird in the very far corner, and we measured it out, and it was funny. I was like, I think I could still get to him. And he's like, how does that work? And I explained to him the teleporting and the 3-inch movement shenanigans. And he's like, all right, well, if you do that, you lose your army. I was like, exactly. So I'm not going to do that. So he piled all of his 20 block of Zangor in the middle on the objective and failed to make it obscuring. And the cannons picked up all but like 2 or 3 of them.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're like 2 wounds apiece.
They're 2 wounds apiece. And then I was able to get the 3d6 charge spell off on one of my cav units. They charged in and picked up a unit of acolytes, and then I took the center objective and the rightmost objective. And then on his turn, I snapped my fingers and teleported my army back to my deployment zone and said, "Okay, now you get to try." And then it was just a hit and run battle like none other. The battle mage hugged the place of power the entire time, so he couldn't spell it or shoot it. Because for whatever reason, war machines can benefit from concealment.
Yeah.
Figure that one out.
No.
So
I'd rather not.
I had the new hot tech of the Huracanum just sitting there pumping out mortal wounds and casting spells and just being a nuisance. 12 wounds on a 4-up save with a 5-up board if it fights last. Really tough to remove. So it tied up a bunch of Zangor. I think he charged up with Skyfires, and we kind of just dirtled at each other for a little bit. But it kept them tied up, and I wasn't getting shot. I told him that was probably his best bet, was to keep Skyfires unengaged and shooting down my stuff, because if I don't get those cannons into concealment, then they just die to Skyfires. But getting those tied up was pretty much the deal sealer. I was able to start whittling him down. And then at the crucial moment was Kairos failed to teleport out, and my ponies were able to get to him as well as the cannons.
I didn't know Kairos could fail.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was like, all right, well, you're going to teleport out. That's totally fine. And then I saw a 1 and a 2, and he goes, no, I'm not teleporting out.
That's a fail. Yeah.
Yep. And I go, okay, well, I got a chance.
Did he have the option of who decided who went first in that game?
I believe he had the option because he was a 4-drop and I was a 5.
Okay. Do you think that game could have gone more in his favor if he had just tried to alpha you?
So we talked about that for a little bit, and I think giving me the turn was the better option. Um, but maybe deploying the Zangor in a manner to where I wouldn't be able to shoot the entire unit. Where if like he can leave them slightly out of the forest, so I get 1 or 2 cannon shots into him, but then he pulls to where that last cannon can no longer shoot them,
Okay.
or do it to where like 1 cannon kills enough, they get out. He valued the what is it? The acolytes highly in that matchup, but if those acolytes get there, they do hurt, so I can understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if he conceals those Zangors, I'm probably in for a world of hurt. I probably have to reallocate all the ponies into them instead of trying to snipe out key units like I did that first turn.
Sure.
And then if he takes first turn, I had my stuff positioned inside of concealment. It's like the cannons were in concealment, and then the third cannon, the one that was not in concealment, was bait. So if he deploys to go to shoot it, I'm just going to redeploy on my turn into concealment with it and call it a day. That was a trend that I used throughout the entire tournament, was just leaving a cannon exposed to see if they would try to commit some resources to it. I had a few people take a bite at that, and they thought they were going to get an easy cannon, and all I needed was a 1, and then I'm over there in the forest. So,
Sure.
so I told him, he's like, well, I could have just picked up that cannon. I was like, well, and I showed him how I deployed it, and he goes, oh, that's dirty, you're an evil man. I was like, it's a game, right? So yeah, so we talked it out for a little bit, and really him not getting the concealment was the deal sealer. I was going to get up in attrition super early. Still a heck of a fight though. I mean, there's so many tricks, and you
Yeah.
never like, you're like, all right, I'm 8 inches away. Like he's gonna have to get a pretty high charge, and then he goes to charge, and he goes, I'm gonna use Destiny dice, and I like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Zeem's
So
never out of it. Yep.
exactly. So he was able to pull out some pretty strong defenses and stay in the game. Um, like I said, if he didn't engage the Skyfires, I think I'm in a world of hurt because I probably lose a cannon or 2, and then it comes down to, does 8 ponies run down Kairos? Probably not. If he fails to teleport, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if I have no poke, then he's staying 18 inches away at all times and just stabbing my ponies from range.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Nice.
then yeah, so fantastic game, fantastic opponent. All my opponents are great. Last round was against Jake, playing his OBR list. Like this was like his 5th game total in 4th edition,
Yeah.
and didn't fully understand how the canon list worked either, which is understandable because it just now took off recently. So people
True.
are starting to see the real strength behind it. And that was just a fun game. I shot what I could. He did his best to keep everything hidden. So not a lot died until like maybe round 3 when he had to reach out and touch points, and then I started, shooting away. He was the only person on the day that actually killed Zenestra. He hit a pretty good charge and hit the angle on her around the little. I think we called you over. They're like, "Can we walk
Oh,
over that?"
yeah.
That was what that was for. It was like, "Can I
Oh
walk over
man.
this?" And we're like, yeah. So it worked. So he charged over it and smacked the crap out of Zenestra, because when she doesn't have a 4 aboard, she just dies. So
Sure.
Oh, it was
so he killed
Stalkers?
Zenestra.
It,
Yeah,
it,
with Stalkers.
it was Stalkers. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, he was playing the OBR list. At that point, I had Catacross and his caster pretty much pinned in that corner though, and then the Hurricanum and a unit of ponies were just running amok on the other side, taking those other 2 points. Callus and Toll dropped down in the background, sniped the guy in the chair, and then we're just taking that back objective the entire time. So I had 3 of the points for a majority of the game, and Catacross and his Legion of Doom was sitting on that far right one. So I was slowly working that side down while bullying the left side of the board.
Was
And
he
then,
was he running Aura of Sterility in that list? The
which
negative.
one's that?
It's the one that gives shooting like -1 to wound or hit or something. It used to be both, but I think they nerfed it to like just -1 to wound.
I don't think so. I know he had the -2 to charges.
Ah, okay, that's what he probably
He had
did. Okay,
diversionary
fair enough.
attacks then, yeah, okay.
Yep, because that clipped me a couple times. I know I had to re-roll some charges with that one, which that was fantastic. Um, and I don't remember what his other one was, or what his artifact or command trait was.
Yeah,
I know.
back in the day, that might have been a tough matchup. Yeah, Helm of Tyranny and Diversionary Tactics. Yeah, yeah. There used to be a. I don't know if you remember the artifact. Or no, it was either artifact or command trait, whatever, or of sterility.
It was a command trait where you pretty much just made shooting hate you
Yeah,
so much.
it was a bubble of -1 to hit and wound with shooting, and it was just an auto include in every single list because OBR just dies to shooting. So
It was Aura of Sterility, it was a command trait.
yeah,
Or a heroic trait
Yeah.
at the time, because it was 3rd edition.
yeah. It still exists, but I think it's just one now. I think instead of -1 to hit and wound, it's just like -1 to wound, and that might have hurt,
Still
but
pretty
no,
good.
no, he didn't have it.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, -1 to wound in Warhammer, regardless if it's 40k or Sigmar, is the best debuff you could possibly give because pluses bonuses to wound are far and few in between. And
Yep, and
anybody can be +1 to hit.
Yeah.
that's exactly why when you look at the list that I built, I brought Cosmopolitan Leader,
I saw
because it
that.
gives so it's going to give 3 human units +1 to wound rolls.
Mhm.
Yep.
So and that's the worst feeling in the world. I got to experience that at Gateway when my Cav on 3s and 5s couldn't do anything because -1 to wound is absolutely terrible.
Yep.
They swung like goblins, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So with the Soggy Cav, you get the mortal wounds on the charge. They're not always charging like the Soggy Cav are. They're 4s and 4s. You have more base attacks. Um, but with the Hurricanum and Cosmopolitan Leader, you get both pony units to 3s and 3s.
We can
So
respect
3s,
that.
yeah,
We can
3s
respect
and
that.
3s, rend 1 on the charge. Like I said, my list is built to absorb and then open up. Soggy Cavs are a little bit more aggressive playstyle. I know Kevin was playing that at the tournament. Um, if you looked at both tables, it was fun to watch because he was next to me most of the day. So I watched how he played his and how I played mine, and I mean that speaks volumes to the kind of list that you can make with the current cities iteration.
Oh
Is you
yeah,
can have 2 to 3 different playstyles and still be successful, even though
hundred percent.
the guts are the same, but you can be successful at however you play it. I'm more
Mhm.
defensive. You'll see me go fight last 5 up board more often than charging in my own guys.
Yeah. No, I found myself kind of in that boat when I'm designing like Lumineth lists. And I found it's like, no, I like kind of just caging around, letting you crash in, and then it's like, here's all these reasons you're not gonna be happy you did it.
Hmm. I want to see which way I can peel this banana now.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really fun getting to know my friends and like finding out what their play style is and like see how it does against me and how we do against each other. Like I tend to gravitate towards high mobility and like I'm like, come chase me, come chase me. You fucked up. You went too far.
Yep, you overextended there. Let me show you why.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've always enjoyed the control playstyle, and moving into Chorfs, I'm really excited to see how more midboard they look to be. And I'm curious how they're gonna impact like the cities list just in general. Like say it stays the same, what we've seen so far, do you think like how would you approach something like that, just knowing very early stuff of like here's bull centaurs doing fucking 3 crit mortals in 25 dice, or all this shenanigans they seem to be pulling out?
Yeah, I mean that's one of those situations where they're going to be highly offensive. They're going to have a lot of speed based on what we've seen so far. So if I am playing cities, I'm going to be playing the exact same list I'm playing now. Just going to be a little more cagier with it and choose my battles. Like I said, the list was built to take a hit and then open up. They're
Mm.
a prime example. They kind of remind me of what the Army of Renown was doing, where it was just slamming bodies into you, dealing a bunch of mortal wounds, and then not dying. Um, I haven't seen what kind of ward saves their units have yet, but I know they're all pretty high armor with a lot of wounds. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
little on the
the infantry is only 1 wound. It's 3-up saves and 1 wound.
They're
They're
iron breakers.
Yeah.
They're literally iron breakers down to when you get your orders and stuff.
yeah. They
1
eventually
wound, 3-up save, up to a
Makes
5-up
sense.
ward, and 2 attacks, 3s, 4s, no rend base, 1 damage, and then they have anti something
anti-charge,
And then
anti-cavalry,
or
with the
anti
spears.
infantry if you're a weird person and like swords.
Swords. The swords. Swords are bad.
Okay. Are they?
Spears?
Yeah,
Spears have anti-cavalry, huh?
the swords are the swords are the
We
same.
don't gotta get too deep here, but yeah, they're significantly different.
They're the worst. So the spears can generate more of the demonic power points that you need. The swords, their special ability is they get to treat run rolls as a 4 minimum. They have a 4-inch.
They're slow. So.
Yeah, I mean it's nice when you're, but like if you look at it and you go, hey, that's really cool. Is there any other movement tech that they can get so that they can be, like moving 10 inches? No, they don't. You're just hoping you roll the 6, and if you're not, you're moving 8 inches, and that's the only thing that they have. Compared to the spears that are, again, being able to generate more of those demonic power points that are like required for having your buffs go off. The spears are just, unfortunately, just the better option at this particular time. Assuming that there's not a crazy difference in cost. We don't know for sure what their costs are, but yeah, they're 10 models, 3-up save, 1 wound, and can have a 5-up ward if they have 3 of those demonic power points on them, or 2 to get the 5-up, 3 to get the 5-up, and a 4-up against spells, prayers, and manifestations.
Oh, okay. So just 2.
Yeah.
And they have plenty of ways of getting to that.
Yeah.
To slow down the Chorf hype, because we'll do that after hours.
All right.
After hours.
All right. Well, rather than I thought about asking you, like, hey, like, how would you shave off 200 points off this list? But I feel like that requires you deep, a lot of sessions on the shitter and in the Beats lab, just like that. Look at it. We all look at lists when we're taking a shit. Let's not
Yeah,
lie.
absolutely.
So,
No,
rather than that, let me ask you this: what do you want to see from the future of Cities of Sigmar?
I mean, the future. I mean, if we're wish listing right now,
Yeah, of course.
I don't want Steam tanks to go away. I think it's a fun flavor that humans have access to. It expands upon that range, which it looks like they're moving away from the mixed cities list, which I am sad about. I love my dark elves. I love my dwarfs. I painted a whole dwarf army back here that I would love to put on the table. They might end up getting proxied as something else. We'll see what that brings. But I'd like the steam tanks to stay. I'd like them to find out a new way to approach the steam tanks. Let's see. I'd like to see another cavalry option come. I know that I'm so used to playing Slaves to Darkness that I got my heavy cav with the Vanguard, and then you got the light heavy cav with the Knights, and then you got the Fell Riders. So you got your light cav there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them mix that up into the city side, just to see what they can do with that. Maybe it's just light armored mounted crossbowmen, kind of like what the Dark Elf side has right now with the Dark Riders. Like those guys are pretty sweet.
Sure.
I think having a human option when something like that would be great. But then also some sort of heavy infantry. Like right now, I've got the steel helms. Right, they're great, fantastic models. But I'd like to see what an offensive unit looks like. I started building this army because I love the swordsman from the Total War Warhammer.
The great swordsman. Yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they're really good.
And I was like, these guys are great. I would love to use these in the tabletop. And I'm like, there isn't a model
Not anymore.
that is very similar to what it does right now in cities. So right now they're on the shelf. But I would love to see an offensive like infantry unit that we could field.
That would be fun.
I mean, and there's so many options too. You could do great swordsman. You could do like you could involve what's the cold city state that's basically Russia, and bring a whole bunch of like axemen. Kislev. You could bring a bunch of Kislev axemen. You can bring flagellants back if you wanted to. Like I would love to see Balthazar Gelt come back. That's what I want. I want Balthazar Gelt back. Like, if Balthazar Gelt comes back...
Now we're getting crazy.
Listen, if he comes back, I'm buying cities. I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to paint him. I'll learn to paint just so that I can paint a Balthazar Gelt army. Because that man...
See, I've heard this before.
Well, I mean, has it ever happened, though?
Before in my world.
I actually do like the idea. So I was thinking about some of the Trust Me Bro things that have been coming out, and that there's going to be a bit of a focus on Shaiish, and maybe like a coastal Shaiish. There's a famous old world hero from the Empire where she's a mage, but she delves a little bit into like the dark magics.
Yep.
And so I wouldn't mind seeing Flagellants come back, and like they kind of do like a whole line of like a dark zealotry side of the cities, where like, hey, like we're in Shaiish, so we have to like win by any means necessary, even if that means tapping into some dark magic a little bit. So that would be cool. And I think from a more noble and for the alliance type thing, some light Griffin cavalry would be super cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, because
monstrous.
because they're still the big guy, the big general on Griffin, but give us some light Griffins,
Yeah, some light Griffins would be great, or maybe they roll over. What is it in the Pegasus Knights?
Oh yeah,
that would be cool too.
From Britannia,
Those are super cool, man. I was digging those.
Something like that would be cool, because Stormcast kind of stole the demi-griff idea with the griff chargers and stuff. So I feel City's kind of lost out on that a bit. I would love for them to get maybe that elite flying cav. And
they also stole Carl Franz.
Yeah, I want Cities to kind of turn into. I like where Cities kind of is now with the humans. Like, I want everyone to be synergistic with each other. I want them all to work in tandem, but I just want everything to feel like it has a place again. So I think that's where it's missing. Is I want to see the Steel Helms and Fusiliers come back. I want them to feel like they have a role in the game, because their rules are so cool, but they just can't keep up with how efficient a dude on a horse can be. And I mean, that's a classic Warhammer-ish kind of pitfall, is when you have ease of access to faster moving versions of your infantry, you have little reason to just not take those instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see GW try out a year of, hey, why don't we make objectives a little bit closer to each other, and just see what the game looks like for a year as a all-out slugfest. Like,
push them a bit forward, so then I can go back
that.
to Alarth Castle and be like, hi, do you want to get within, I don't know, like 15, 18 inches of me? Because that's gonna suck.
Yeah, because then I guarantee you, like, an entire dwarf army from Cities is 100% viable. Like, their synergy is amazing. Like, I built an all dwarf city list in the app, and I was like, this is amazing. It's too bad objectives are so far apart.
Yep.
I felt that my weekend. It was like, damn, I feel like my list is really good and it could do well against the good meta stuff. Too bad everything is so far away and I move egregiously slow.
Yeah.
Well, you just bring the gyrocopters. Me and Austin had this figured out a long time ago, because the list I was going to bring to Dragonfall, my charity army, was all the foot dwarfs and then like 4 or 5 gyrocopters.
Oh, now you guys have a whole nother year. I'm so sad you guys are going to be at Dragonfall.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing. But hey, LVO is going to be a blast. We've already got dinner plans. We're excited for LVO.
That's good.
That should be fun. But if we're still wish listing, I would really like a classic warrior priest. Just
sure.
Give him to me.
I
want to slap someone with that big old warhammer and chant a prayer on that bad boy before it sinks into your skull.
Sure, like the Grim, something Grim. I forget his name. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Volknar the Grim?
I believe it is Volknar the Grim. Yeah.
I don't even know how I pulled that name out of my ass. Like, that was insane. I was like,
I'm proud of you for it. I'm embarrassed every time I knew. Like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is. I couldn't tell you what I learned in 10th grade math, but I sure as shit can tell you what happened in year like 2700 for the Empire.
It's the tism, my lord.
Bro, he's got
yes, I love that.
Undiagnosed tism.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So I don't know. Like, I'll pull up Volknar because he's got an epic mustache. give moment, please.
Yeah.
Got a beautiful stash, man.
Like I always like there's always a type that plays Sigmar, and like I always think of the Rick and Morty moment where he's like, "Do people with autism like this game? Why would you ask that question? Because I'm starting to love it."
Man, and the Volknar the Grim model is sick too. Like, it's not even like it's old, but like it looks good. I assume it's old.
It came on the War Altar, so you could. It's like 10-ish, 12-ish years.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm like because there was a.
It's about 12 to 13, I think.
Yeah, bring back Volknar. Let's go.
Listen, if you
I
bring
like
back
the idea of just having a priest. I think cities is absolutely the army that should have both wizards and priests.
I mean, they've got a prayer lore and priests already. They're just it's not a human priest, right? It's dwarves and then Zenestra.
And Zenestra,
Yeah.
Yep. But we're thinking future cities here. We're
That's
gonna
true.
need more than just Zenestra.
Yeah.
If you're singling out the line to just humans, we're gonna need some foot guys. We want the warrior priests back.
Yes, for sure.
We talked the good. Talked the good, man. But what do you think is gonna change, if anything? Like, say our Battle Scroll comes out, it's like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this affects LVO because LVO's cutoff is next week.
It's the 25th, I think. So it could, depending on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That is real tight. Okay.
I wonder if they made it the 25th because they know that's when the Battle Scroll's coming out.
Probably.
Maybe some insider information there.
That would make sense.
It's totally not happened before with LVO. But...
Oh, absolutely not.
No. What would you expect coming from that? Like, just in a broad spectrum, like cities could be included in that, but what do you think we will see out of that?
I mean, speaking from the city side, I think me and Carlos talked about it at the event a little bit. I think we're going to see some points increases for the cannons. If not, then on the battle formation itself.
Yeah.
I think that goes up. I know a lot of people are talking about maybe getting rid of Zenestra's being able to shoot after you teleport.
That'd be
that's
an interesting change because that all but hoses the cannons in that regard. Then
it hoses the alpha on it for sure. I was not prone to teleporting my cannons forward and shooting and then hoping to teleport them back. The cannons already shoot far enough. You don't really need that unless someone is trying to get tricky and snipe a piece that you don't.
Yeah, because they're 20. They're 24, right?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah, you don't.
You can advance.
You can touch most things with 24.
Inches. Yeah. So there's a lot of wish listing for people that don't like cities. So obviously removing the shooting from the teleport.
I'm pretty good at staying objective when it comes to like, rules changes or nerfs that need to happen. And so the people that are like, "Oh, cities is going to go up like 400 points," I'm like, sit down. No, it's not.
I know I've perpetuated myself as this big cities hater, but genuinely, it's like, no, I don't enjoy how this style of play ended up coming out, and that's just me. Like Corey and Kevin have convinced me. Like the list is fun, it has its grievances, very obviously, that maybe I don't personally enjoy, but no, objectively, it's not going to jump like 100, 200 points. It's going to go up. I think it's going to be that formation. I think it's going to be maybe just Sagi Zenestra specifically, like they did with the Black Coach for Nighthawk for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I suspect 100-point increase. If I was looking at your list, I would say it goes up by 100 because Pontifex maybe goes up 40. The formation goes up to 30. And if the command core doesn't go up, it just becomes unique, but that doesn't affect your list.
Nope. And that was done on purpose. I was going to paint up 2 more command core to watch them go unique.
Yeah.
Is the command core's ability to allow you to use the same command again, is that a once per turn army ability, or is that just once per turn as long as you have the guys and the CP to fund it?
I
think
don't
it's once
use it
per
as
turn
often as
army.
everyone else does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just once per turn.
I'll double check because I have it. I had it in the list I played on TTS a night back.
Because if it's not once per turn army, I think that might be a way to just get around having multiple command cores outside of just redundancy sake.
It's once per battle round army.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
and you still have to spend the CP. It's not a free.
Yeah, I learned that part, and that was definitely like uneducation on my part of just not understanding how that ability particularly worked. So I definitely have died down a bit on how wild Command Core is. Still a very awesome, very strong unit because it pumps out stuff in combat that you wouldn't expect it to do.
Yeah,
it's a random tag, a D&D party, pretty much just walking around on the board, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're level 5, and they found at least one magic item. Okay, they're doing stuff.
They hit haste. They hit haste on the spellcaster, on the Bladesong wizard, and he's attacking twice now. And it's a rapier, and you just don't know what to do about it. It's a bad time. It's never a good thing when that happens to your DM. Carlos can tell you. I've done that to him before. The look he just gave the camera. Holy shit.
For City's sake, objectively, the only things I personally see is maybe something happens in Estra, but it would be the Cannoneers formation goes up.
100%.
And I don't know, maybe they turn the Fusel Major into a once per turn shooting army buff, where it's like one of those guys gets to pick something and you get +1 to hit for those weird people that, or is it already that way?
That's already how it works.
All right, I don't read at all. I should be Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
No, it's fine. What I suspect the Fusel Major will change to in the new book is that it'll happen on a 3-up. Like they point anything they targeted on a 3, and that just and it's not because I think it deserves a nerf. I actually don't.
It just follows philosophy.
It just follows philosophy. Yeah, it follows the game philosophy they're going with right now. So
they want they want people to have strong like buffs from all of their support heroes. Like they don't want to take that away. They've started to show that really handily. It's like, no, we want you to do really cool things, but there needs to be a balance, and they've turned the balance into you got to roll a die for it.
Except for Celestium Burst Grenade, for some reason.
Yeah, that thing needs to go to 40 points.
What is it doing?
Corey, talk non-cities changes. What would you want to see, or what do you think you'll see?
What I would like to see is a change to Khorne. I think some of the, I've been testing it with my buddy Dan. I think the new Blood Tithe system is super weird. I don't think it works. I don't know how it got through play testing. It's not a good time to manage. I mean, you took a lot of the bookkeeping out of the game just to give more bookkeeping to Blades of Khorne. There's way too much going on there. Their buffs, they don't get in time, especially if you're playing against a reserved army like Cities. He's charged at me and just died before he's gotten to me every time. It hasn't been a fun experience for him. And then, I don't know if they're going to get looked at only because of how good the Army of Renown was doing. All of their wins are, it's from the Army of Renown.
Into there,
it's gonna take a battle scroll or two.
I've felt bad for Khorne because a lot of my games recently have been against Khorne, and I've realized no, you just deny them one round of any Blood Tithe. Like it's good just to chip away at them, leave them on a couple models for their Blood Reavers or their Flesh Hounds, whatever it is. And all of a sudden they're going to turn 2. It's like, I can't do anything. No, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
Did somebody turn off the light where you were, Corey? Because now you're really dark all of a sudden.
Well, my light was the natural light that was coming in, and now the sun's gone down.
The sun can be setting. It's not exactly 8 o'clock over there, but they
let me turn a light on.
All right, totally fair. I looked up and I was like, "Where did Corey go?"
Now it's probably too bright in here. We'll see if this works.
You're fine.
No, that's perfect.
No,
hey, he's back.
Yeah, my light's too bright. I actually could fix it now that I think about it. Why have I not fixed it?
I just bought a halo light to use so that it's top down instead of coming at me here. This is the terrible angle, but
I've learned how pasty I am, so I just don't wear white bright shirts when we get on, and I usually do fine because I'm pale enough as it is.
I don't
That's
even
totally
own a
fair.
bright shirt. I think all my shirts are black or like brown, dark brown.
I've got a pretty bright blue shirt that I wear sometimes. It says "Choose your weapon," and then it's just a whole bunch of wireframes of the different polyhedral dice.
Fair.
I like
Well,
that. I've seen that sometimes.
Corey, final thoughts on WCW? Did you like the venue? Did you like the vibes? Like anything that you would change? I know we talked about the bathroom. That was my fault. I forgot to tell people there was a bathroom downstairs.
No, the event was fantastic. It's one of the better GTs that I've 2-day events I've been to. I had a blast. The
Nice.
the bar was fantastic. All of the people
Yeah.
that worked there were great. Like you said, the bathroom was the only situation that came up. There was a
Nobody told me.
line,
Nobody told
which
me.
is crazy. Yeah, because there was
Yeah.
a line for the one stall, and I looked over and there was that ladder that was in the middle of the men's restroom. I don't know if you
That
guys
was
saw
weird.
that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was an odd.
And
That was an odd turn of events.
And we were standing there for a minute, and a guy walked in behind me. He's like, "Are you in line for the stall?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "They don't have any more." I said, "I do, but you got to go up the ladder." And then that's where the other bathroom is. But I got a bum leg, so I can't do it. I stopped him from climbing the ladder. He was actually going to go for it. Um, but no, that was the only situation. Was the bathroom situation. I thought it was a fantastic event. I can't wait for next year, assuming that next year is going to happen.
Yeah.
I
It'll-
will
Last
be waiting
weekend-
there, hitting refresh.
Last weekend of February.
It's there. It's there.
It's there. Yeah. Fun fact. It's soft launched. You can buy a ticket right now.
I'm not do that right now.
I got this.
Yeah. I put it up and I was like, I'll just leave it there. If people buy it, they'll buy it. But I'm gonna make an official announcement right before the holidays where people can. And we didn't sell out until like the week of, so I think the people that are gonna clamor for it will go in, and we're going up to 56 people this time. So I don't think I'm gonna have any selling out issues for this one. I don't think I need to do a pre-sale or anything like that. I think it'll be fine. Yeah. So
Like we
Yeah,
said, like we had 50 to start, and we sold out at 50 at some point. So
yeah, it took a
adding
while to
6
get
more
there.
should be hard.
Yeah, I was getting a little nervous at first because we had 25 until like the beginning of August, and then typical,
Exploded.
it exploded. Typical, GT stuff. So the 25 people that knew they weren't gonna miss it, do or die, bought the tickets right away, and then everyone else was like, yeah, I guess I'll go.
People made their event decisions. They're like, cool, I'm not traveling that far. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side where it does sell out, and then you remember that gamers are flaky, and 6 to 10 people drop at the very last minute. So
Yeah,
You
I
always
I
try to
had
account for that to some degree.
yeah,
mm,
100%. So, well, sweet. If you guys don't have anything else for Corey, I'll go ahead and sign us off. Remember, everyone, the dice may betray you, but good sportsmanship never will. Thank you guys all for joining us today.
Thank you.
see ya.
See you.